There you go, Brett.
Blackball_Chris became a member.
Oh, thanks, Blackball.
About
I was like, where's that?
Oh, Albert.
I think it's given us a whole roll call of everyone who's re-upped probably since the last time we streamed, maybe.
Oh.
Well,
Mike J became a member.
it's good that you get recognized.
Yeah.
Let's clap for everyone.
Yeah. Are you gonna sit down or are you gonna hang out there?
I'm still hot. I'm riding over.
Tony said we're actually live this time because the last live stream. Do you know about this?
No.
I didn't go live. I didn't press go live.
Oh.
So we talked for like 5 minutes, and then everyone's like, "Are you guys gonna do a stream tonight?" And I'm like,
Did you guys just repeat everything you said in the first
Yeah,
5 minutes?
so we had to try and like had to make jokes, and then we had to try and do the jokes again. And,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's always
And then Tony was like, "Well, I'm not going to say that because Tim made fun of me when I said it." So.
Oh yeah, he loves doing that.
Runer said, "Spoiler alert! You all made it back," which is true.
Ah, shit, that's true. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of spoiler alerts. Because...
I should have waited to come back.
Yeah.
Gluten free? What are you drinking?
Long drink.
Oh.
Is that a cocktail?
It's that Finnish. Yeah, kind of. Some Finnish bullshit.
Finnish?
From Finland, yeah.
Ah.
It's good.
Have you had it?
Yeah.
It tastes like squirt but with alcohol.
It smells like squirt.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's very pungent. Let's see. Let's get this.
There you go.
What is it supposed to? Strong citrus.
Yeah. I guess grapefruit or native to
Permission
Finland.
to squirt?
Really? I don't think so.
What? You went for that one?
Permission to squirt?
I'm trying to find
Juniper probably is.
Yeah.
Don't take that tone with me.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, right.
Party size said sound is a little low.
Sound is a little low. Turn it up. Doing
That's
a whole
just the way I talk.
whole different mic setup tonight. So
Check.
Yeah.
Check.
Shit check.
all right, let us know if that's a little better. It's bouncing into the yellow, so I know everyone says it's always low then too, but if I go too much higher, it'll distort. So
Don't worry, I'll lean into the microphone.
thanks.
And I'll lean away to breathe. It's a old meme I just referenced. No. That's the contest. See if anyone gets that reference.
How would we know?
I'll know.
No. We can do better than that. All right. Yeah, our party size says it's better. So what's up, everybody? Last week we did a 5-day bike tour. Based it on bikepacking.com, which I meant to pull up here. What was the name of it?
The North Country Traverse.
North Country Traverse. But I will pull the article up anyways.
I already dislike the lack of preparation for this stream.
Will there be maps?
There will be maps.
Oh, I almost took a screenshot of a map for J Dandy just so we couldn't zoom in on it on purpose.
That's
Nord.
You guys could talk why.
Yeah,
Searching.
I was just thinking after getting snapped at about my speed of typing, Mr. Hunt and Peck.
Mr. What?
He's
Hunt
typing
and
one-handed.
Peck, I know. I didn't have a choice but to Hunt and Peck. I was trying to type in a Google-generated password.
Hey, look at this. That's what I am. Maybe would you man the keyboard for us tonight?
Sure.
Because you could two-hand it then.
Double-fisted, if you will.
Let's see if we have a...
Innuendos and not the other.
So I'm going to keyboard and you're going to scroll?
You're good for right now. But anyway.
I'll sit here awkwardly. Do I look like I'm having fun?
Dave's trying to give us a little more slack.
Okay.
Do we need like a phone book?
He's a real pro.
I'm fine now.
Yeah, so bikepacking.com's Michigan's North Country Traverse. So the trail, I think theirs is 173 miles. But what we had done is we found someone who made a loop from Traverse City on Ride with GPS. And then,
Apparently that guy, Tom Lilly.
not that guy.
Shoot.
He made this route.
Yeah.
But then we modified it so we could do
Made
a
it.
loop to come back to Traverse City. So we were only going to spend 2.5 days on this official route, right? And then kind of shoot over to the coast so we could then ride up the coast of Lake Michigan, and plan was to go swimming and go to breweries that we had found. We had some campsites booked and all that kind of stuff. So
Party size, was I loud because I was yelling at Tim?
yeah.
So, just right off the bat.
I was mad.
Right off the bat, I just want to point out that
Speak up a little bit.
as Tim just said, we're going to be on the North Country Traverse for 2.5 days. And right up here it says 4 to 6 days.
Well,
Foreshadowing.
yeah. So do you remember, Erin, how many miles we had planned to be on, like the single track type fire roads? That would have been about 140 for us maybe before we were breaking off.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think we were planning on 270 mile. Oh, it was 2.5 though. So.
Should the contest be?
Yeah, I don't know how much of the route on the first day was on roads before we jumped onto single track.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't know the second day what the split was. Or I mean the third day what the split was supposed to be.
Yeah, so we probably would have done something like somewhere north of 120, right? Between 120 and 140 of single track on the North Country Trail. I was saying, and we put out a video about the ride today, and I was saying the vibe of it is like a hiking trail. Would you guys agree with that? Like the North Country Trail feels more like a hiking trail than
Yeah.
anything we've ever biked.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially day 2.
I'd say parts of it, yeah. A lot of it did feel like single tracky, maybe not like single track here, but yeah, there were chunks that definitely felt like hiking trail.
All the parts that we hiked felt like hiking trails.
All the parts that we hiked felt like hiking trails. Well, it's funny though because a lot of the hiking was actually on. Oh wait, got to go back to this.
Day
A lot of
two.
what we did was hiking was actually on the stuff that looked more like roads when we would hit that sandy stuff.
I don't know. I feel like we hiked a lot on day 2 in the beginning.
Yeah.
Part of day 2.
Day one, so I was trying to say this in the video and I was trying to guess and I actually referenced you guys wondering what you would say. So in the bikepacking.com article it says it's 99% rideable. How much do you think we rode the first day? Like 90 maybe?
Mike Haas says the NCT is very much a hiking trail.
I think more like 90.
90 on the first day and probably lower. That probably dropped a lot on the second day, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What
For how much we were hike-a-biking.
Ooh, yeah.
I guess it depends. Do they mean like 99% of your time or 99% of those miles? Because like
Yeah.
hiking a bike takes a lot more time, but I wonder, like, we never pushed our bikes for like a lot of miles.
Yeah, it was more about
But
like putting
It
your-
was more hiking than I thought we'd be doing.
Yeah, I think we definitely. There's one part where we hiked for almost 3 miles with the bikes, or at least it felt like that.
Yeah.
And
I
Yeah,
think
you're right. Yeah.
I think in the sand, like I was able to stay up more than you were because my bike wasn't as heavy and my gearing and stuff. So that probably changes your perception. Like
Yeah.
just getting off the bike, regardless of how long you're off the bike, like you're noting that. Versus if you can keep the pedals going and the bike upright, you could be going slower and you're not feeling like you're hiking your bike.
Yeah, I definitely felt like there was a difference between putting a foot down and hiking a bike. You know, where if I put a foot down and I don't have to throw my leg over, and I could just like I had almost all the weight on the front of my bike, which on the single track handled awesome, on the roads handled awesome, but the sand, it would just bury, and I couldn't move, whereas you had a much more balanced bike, and I think you had more weight on the back, right?
Right. So I found that I could, if I start getting stuck in the sand, I could lean up, and I was able to get through the sand. I could get out of the saddle and lean on the front a little more, and I would be able to get through. And I enjoyed hearing Tim get really mad about when Erin would like cruise through a part that all three of us were like, "What the heck?" And it looks like Tony wins because he guessed chocolate rain.
I don't think that was the official contest. Everyone has to know.
You told me.
Yeah.
You gave me 14 seconds to come up with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so to give a little idea, I'll play the video we posted today in the background so people can kind of see the what a lot of...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
I was kind of hoping we could watch it together.
As a family?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't know that was the plan.
World premiere.
So it's funny, Mike asked who had the wider tires and how did that help with the sand? How wide are the tires that you put on for the trip, Erin?
I think the three of us all had the same
2.25.
2.25.
2.25. What is that in millimeters?
58-ish.
58ers. So I had 55s. But again, I don't really feel like it was the tires as much as the balance of weight. Like, I don't feel like it was, like, my traction was an issue, or like if they were a little wider, it would have helped me get over that much more.
Should there be a trigger warning for Tony?
Yeah, sand.
Yeah, all we're going to talk about tonight, Tony, is sand.
Yeah. It's like, this stuff was awesome. But
Yeah, this was exactly what I thought, like, bikepacking always was in my head when I pictured it. And I loved going through the sections. Oh, man.
I did feel like the thing to me was, this is what I had envisioned the trip looking like. What I just didn't realize is how slow that would make it.
Yeah.
Because it's just weaving in around those curves, and then, well, here you can see what the sand kind of, how it gets on the sandy roads, and here I think I bury a tire in a second. You can see Brad skidding all over the place. Yeah.
Hey, I made it.
The sections were short enough of this on the first day that it wasn't really like frustrating me that much. It was more just that I was looking at the clock, and we had planned 70 miles to a campsite we had reserved.
74 miles, yeah.
74. And I, in my mind, was thinking we were going to pull that off.
Yeah, I remember when I brought it up, like, we're going to have to consider, and I really felt bad about it, because it was after the gas station,
Yeah.
and I was like, we're going to have to, and then you guys, like, rallied, and you even got me on board. We were like, look, there's 10 more miles of trail, then there's 10 miles of road, then only 10 more miles of trail, we're going to do it. And I was like, yeah, we can do it. We're going to get in there after dark, we'll set up, I'm not going to eat till midnight, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation.
At the gas station, when the realization hit me that we were, it was 2 o'clock?
Yeah,
We're like
we
20-some miles in?
we all look beat.
Yeah. We're sitting on the sidewalk, just honking gas station
Right.
sandwiches.
That's just it. It's the busiest gas station in the world. We're sitting on the sidewalk, barely out of the sun. Cars are coming and going. People are walking around us, and we do not care.
Yeah. I think that is like a comment I said in the video, like a bike touring, bike packing thing. It's
Yeah.
just like you get to those spots, especially for the people who do like actual racing with this stuff. Why isn't that those little things going? There we go. But yeah, I remember though, someone made it was either Ben or Erin, that I remember when we were getting up from the gas station was like, I think we're going to be eating camp meals tonight, because we had...
That's what I was like. I remember thinking, are you insane? Of course we're going to...
Yeah. But that's when I was doing the math in my head, and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be... We need to get moving. And then I was still thinking we'd get there before dark, but it was a little longer before the realization set in that, like, we need to figure something out. Like, because the place that we ate lunch at 2 o'clock the next day is where we had thought we were going to have dinner the night before. It shows how naive our planning was.
Yeah. I was thinking about it after we rode Hampton the other day. Like, I don't know. My speed on that, like, after we did the top loop was like 9.5 miles per hour, and that was on an unloaded mountain bike, and one of my best times. And like, sure, like there's a little more like climbing and like more turns and stuff like that, but if that's the fastest you can ride Hampton, I don't know why you would think that you could ride single track on a loaded bike faster than that. There's just some inconsistencies in the concept to reality. But I think like I was a little nervous leading up to it, but like I'm always nervous. I always think I can't do it. And like I think most recently like Black Fork, I signed up for the shortest route, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to do the 30 or whatever it was, and felt great. So I think that I just like dismissed my hesitations as like normal rather than investigating them in any way.
Here's the other thing. We're in that old growth forest here, the Valley of the Giants, and this was rooty, and it wasn't unrideable, but you could just see the speed we're moving. So it was awesome. Like, this is so cool down along this creek and everything.
The temperature really dropped too, and it was.
But we're moving at like 5-6 miles an hour. Like, that math just does not add up. And like I was saying, like, we've gone like every time you hop off, it slows you down. Like these bridges that didn't have like the little ramp up and stuff like that. Yeah. And so, I don't know. We were talking about it later, and I was saying, if we had planned maybe 2 40-mile days, like, or 3 40-mile days on this stuff, it would have been awesome. It would have been about perfect. It still would have been challenging. Like we still would have rolled in the evening, but I think we still would have been able to go for a swim, get the fire going,
Like, follow the recommendations on the website.
Yeah. I really was like, because we're going at like some of the longest days of the year, right? And I was just picturing like when we go to Jake's Rocks and go out and ride like 40 miles, and I'm like, oh, we have all day and we're just going to be moving most of the day. I just felt like we would, I don't know. I mean, we all looked at those numbers and all decided to do this. So I think I really didn't account for two.
I guess I always thought like if we don't make it far enough, we can camp wherever. And there's the gas station.
Yeah, the gas station lunch.
So that I did really appreciate at the end of that day where Ben and Erin really hunkered down and like sorted through campsites in a very timely manner. I was really impressed with that level of organization. But I also enjoyed that you guys like plan for moments of spontaneity, and you're like, oh, well, that gives us 2 hours to be spontaneous, and I love that you're planning for spontaneity.
If we want to swim somewhere,
we're gonna schedule some spontaneity.
Well, I was thinking like we'd come across places like in the scene right here, and we'd be like, let's jump in the lake and then get going again, but. Yeah. That was so unrealistic. Right. With the mileage.
And this is when I was like, man, we just gotta, this is gorgeous, but we gotta go.
So.
You can tell by the light, the color of the light, like, we're getting later in the day, and we're nowhere near where we need to be.
And it is so pretty. That's why I really do think day 2, when in my head I'm like, well, we have to change our plans because we didn't get to the first campsite. And the end of day 2 was supposed to get us to our most southern point, right? So I already know.
Midday 3.
Oh, midday 3. So it was already obvious that we weren't going to make it to the southern end of this trip. And being a loop, that was fine, because we knew we could adjust. But it did for day 2 take that pressure off of like, we're not making it. We got to figure something else out so really we can enjoy it.
Mentally, that made a big difference.
It mentally helped, except for that we did a half-mile climb that took us 45 minutes right out of the gate.
The first 2.7 miles of day 2 were some of the hardest I've ever been on a bike. And I think we kept saying that about day 2 in general. That was some of the hardest days we've ever had on a bike, with exception to one day last year.
Right after you saw those guys.
That's right. Yeah, that's where.
Yeah.
We caught some people.
An intimate moment.
Yes.
Erin caught an intimate moment in the woods. I was later, so they were just had these
smirking
as I came by.
No pun intended.
What do you think? So for me, I think one of the things that really took it out of me was just all the sharp like climbs, like made it up plenty of them, but I was just
Yeah.
like when you look at the elevation numbers, and like I said, the bikepacking.com article said no elevation of note. That means no high mountain elevation, but it was almost like there was so much up and
I
down.
mean,
and
you're following a river valley, and it's like all the little tributaries that go along that river valley, and you're just like going constantly up and down and around some of those points.
I feel like that's what took it out of me, physically more than anything else.
Pushing the bikes was harder than
Yeah.
riding them.
Yeah, on day
There's points where we were like I remember seeing Ben get on his bike when we shouldn't have, and trying to go through some sections, and I was just because you're practically desperate to get back on the bike instead of pushing it. But
Yeah, I think what you said about day one is what made that physically exhausting. I feel like the amount that that I at least had to push the bike on day two I was already physically exhausted from day one, and then pushing the bike was mentally and physically exhausting.
Yeah, there were two different days because, like I said, we rode most of day one. It really was that day two. So the thing we realized, day two, we rode. This is the road to the campsite. So we rode back to the trail in the morning, and then when we got
this is still day one, right?
Yeah, this video is only day one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when we got back to the trail, 2 miles in, we had a climb. Remember those runners came by, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are doing good." But he's like, "You're not even near the worst of it. That's coming up."
Yeah. The
It is
girl's like, "Don't tell them that."
Don't
He's
tell
like,
them
"They need to know."
They need to know. And it was so true because,
I feel like we did the worst before that, though. That's when I was like overheating and stuff. After that, I was okay. But
no, when he said that, then we had
that was the climb that was
Okay.
you were overheating.
that
in.
was a half-mile climb that took us 45 minutes.
yeah.
So
I had to keep stopping, and that's because I kept feeling my heartbeat in the back of my skull, and then I could hear it would make my ears ring in this weird way,
Was that video?
and it made me feeling.
It was.
I just felt real weird, and I would stop when that would start, and until my heartbeat went back down into my chest where it's supposed to be, and then I'd be like, okay, and then I would start pushing again. But there was no breeze back there. It was 10 degrees hotter than projected. Not that I would still worn the same freaking clothes, but it was, man, I went through. Yeah, in 2.7 miles, I went through 2 full water bottles, and I'd already drank 2 water bottles before we even left camp, and then I had sweat through every layer of clothing. It was in just less than 3 miles.
Yeah, I think there's a point that will be in the second video, but we go up another climb, and we were waiting for Ben and Erin, and me and you were talking, and I was like, it's something like we're 5 miles in, and it's been 2 hours or something.
Yes.
And but again, on day two, we had come up with a plan just to make it to this town, Messick. We're going to get there for lunch, and like I was saying, this is the place we were supposed to have dinner the night before, and then we're going to come up with a plan. And what did you say? You're something of I want to know what everyone's...
Yeah, we sat down at lunch, and Tim was already started throwing out options, and I had come up with 10 contingency plans because I knew that I didn't have much in me. So it was like, okay, I didn't want to ruin their trip. So it's like, okay, you guys go on. I'll cut over to the coast, or you guys go on. I'll ride back to Traverse City, on the roads. I had all kinds of options in mind. I was like, let's just see how everybody's feeling and what they want to do.
Wasn't that Ben on the first day though? He was checking to see how far away from the car we were.
I think he told us that later.
Yeah. Well, when we ended up deciding to call it on day one, I was telling Tim this earlier that I don't know if it's because in hindsight, I got to the point of breaking in desperation on day two that I don't remember feeling that way on day one. But I don't remember why, but I was just like, we need to look for another campsite. And Tim was like, oh, yeah, we can do that in a while. And I'm in my head, I'm like, what if we pass the last one? What happens then? Like, so we finally stopped, and I think the next one and the only one for the rest of those miles before where we had planned to camp was like 5 miles away or something.
It was more, I think, more like 8 or 10.
Because
maybe.
during that time, though, we were talking about we can camp wherever, and I was like, "Oh, those are bear tracks." I think I put those on the Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll pull that.
But we ride to the campsite and stay there overnight, and then when we cut back to where the trail continued, it's like immediately uphill, like barely wide enough for a bicycle, very rooted, like uphill in the direction that you're traveling, but also uphill perpendicularly. Is that whatever?
Right.
Perpendicular. And so, like, you could fall down the hill to the side too. And that was, I mean, so slow going. Like, you couldn't have ridden it. And I just realized that had we not chosen that campsite and stopped then, like, that would have broken me. I would have camped at the bottom. I would have thrown myself down the hill and slept there that night.
Tony even texted me chocolate rain.
Games.
Ames said, you guys are really selling this trip. Sounds like a blast. So on day 2, when we did sit down, that was funny because when you're like, how's everyone feeling? And I was like, we find a campground that's within real close reason and then head there. And Brad's just like, yes. And Ben's nodding his head. And so we're all have our phones out.
I was like, yes.
We called the first place that I was one of the ones I was looking at. They were all booked up. And then the second one we found, it was 8 to 10 miles, but it was first come, first serve. So we were riding there with like...
Yeah, there was a little bit of trepidation of whether a site was going to be available. It's a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
And we had already, through Ben and Erin's research, they'd already found a number of sites that were already full. So
Well, yeah.
there was some anxiety there as well.
I think that the fact that it was a holiday weekend worked in our favor because people were probably like, oh, I can't reserve this spot. I want to, like, this is a trip for my family.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure that I don't show up at this campsite with my 3 kids and there isn't a place for us to camp.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was pretty out there, too. We weren't exactly... Like, so,
Right.
the ones we had reserved on the coast, like in Sleeping Bear Dunes, we literally got the last campsite that they had. And it turned out to be a, what do you call it? Special needs, handicap accessible site, by the bathrooms on concrete,
Wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, wheelchair accessible. Yeah. But so it was like that little bit of a gamble, but you're right, it was still pretty out there and whatever. The question Chris asked, do you train with a loaded bike? And the answer is no, but we always like to do a shakedown ride. So we did like an overnighter a week before the trip with our setups that we were going to be using. You want to make sure everything's comfortable and everything kind of locks in place, but yeah, I'm not going to ride around a loaded bike when I don't need to. Yeah, and then he also said...
I mean, riding a fat bike, isn't that kind of training?
Well, and then Chris said selling point to keep the fat bike because of sand. But the whole thing with this trip is we were really trying to walk a line because it was supposed to be 2.5 days on this kind of more gnarly stuff, but then it was going to be 2.5 days of more typical road touring. So you didn't want to... You could definitely be comfortable on the North Country Trail fat biking. I even said mountain biking.
Yeah.
If you had like a bikepacking bike with front suspension, they would work great on this trail. But with what we were doing, I felt like the full rigids with wider tires were I would still ride the same bike if we did it again. I would just cut down the mileage.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
What do you think? Would you?
I'm having vocal fry for balancing bike life.
What's that?
His speakers crackle when I talk.
Oh, I'll turn it down a little. It is going to the red. It's a weird thing on here that I've never figured out. It's like if it's too quiet, it's too quiet. If I turn it up, it goes into crackly. So Yeah, I can't adjust these independently. This is not a TV production. This is me in my basement. This mic doesn't have the gain that this mic has, and that's all there is to it.
Would I do it? What would I do? Yeah, I'd probably ride my Bombora again. And definitely do shorter days.
Would you change up the tires or?
I mean, I think I'd make sure they held air. I also probably wouldn't fall and bend my derailleur hanger.
Oh,
but
gosh.
those,
With
those,
everything else that happened, I forgot
whatever.
about your mechanical issues. So yeah, your rear tire wouldn't hold air.
Yeah.
Or sealant. It's a tubeless, so it was leaking. So we kept pumping that up until we finally put a tube in it on day 3.
I think so, because I think you just put air pressure in there, road pressure in there.
How did you eat it? That I can't remember.
I was going around descending
Oh, yeah.
around a switchback.
Yeah, it was that switchback and then immediately into like all those routes. It was.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you bent your.
We all walked it after we saw.
Oh yeah. Go down.
Mm-hmm.
It was gnarly. It was not something. A fat bike probably could have got over.
Yeah.
Fat bike would have been fine.
We couldn't get the derailleur hanger off, so Ben was able to bend it back well enough for me to ride. You know, I had to go past gears and go back to them sometimes to get in the gear that I wanted, but certainly less catastrophic than it could have been.
Yeah, it's not loading my pics for whatever reason because you're.
But I think that I would want to do. I think the next time I did something like this, I would like it to be more contained. Like I would want to plan for kind of like a single track overnighter. Rather than coupling it with 5 days on the bike and yeah.
I saw someone asked Mike asked how far we made it. So let me might as well, I could show the Strava routes here too. So whoops, wrong one. Yeah, so this ended up being our day 1, what are the stats on it? So, 56.5 miles and 77, almost 8 hours of moving time, which to us is we've done bike tours on Bike Pass, and even the C&O could be a little double tracky, but we're just not used to moving below 10 miles an hour. So 3,000 feet of elevation, and again, almost all up and down, not no big climbs except the initial one to get out of Traverse City, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that wasn't. Can you see the? Yeah, there's the profile right
Oh
there.
yeah. So we did have. so actually, it was 2,000 feet the rest of the time because we knocked out almost 1,000 right off the bat once we left the lake. Yeah. But yeah, I could see it's just all these little ups and downs. See even the gradient, just -6%, plus 9.5%. You know, so they don't. It doesn't look like anything on an elevation profile.
Some
but
punchy bubbies in there.
yeah. So yeah. Let's see, that's day 1. How do I?
Tim also, he mentioned this in the video, but between the road riding from Traverse City and getting on the North Country Trail, we went through a mountain biking area called Vasa. And that was our first lesson in this, is that we were going the wrong way because they were
It changes direction.
Yeah.
Yearly?
Seasonally,
Yearly. It was
yearly.
Yeah.
And Ride with GPS doesn't account for that, so we're just happily following our route, doing what it tells us to do, and then it was wrong way.
Yeah, we saw
signs.
We saw a do not
Yeah.
enter, and we're yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So that was something that I wasn't familiar with as far as making routes and mountain biking areas, is that if you see that condensed area that looks like a mountain bike thing, you probably need to check the direction and route around it, or
And the other riders
whatever.
we did see were are we going the wrong way?
Yeah, 'cause
They weren't sure either.
So this is day 2, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so this was our. So we did go a considerable distance after, because Messick is where we stopped for.
Was that barbecue place?
Yeah, that was supposed to be the dinner spot. So we only did 27 miles,
Yeah.
which on a touring day for us just felt like ridiculous. But we were
stoked.
we were ready to be, because we got to the site. We went for a swim in the creek. We got the fire going.
Yeah.
I brought some beer from
We're all like, yeah,
Messick,
this is the
so-
best idea.
yeah, like the vacation we had in mind. So to the question of how far we made it, because then we just we shot over to Manistee. Where
We
did we go? I could go to the next
Manistee
one.
is
Go-
how they say it, but,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think we camped like right there.
but we kept saying Manistee.
Manistee.
Manistee. Yeah, Manistee.
I could pull up that day too.
But that was the night we had there were a bunch of campgrounds that were relatively close, but a lot of them were reserved and full. So we crossed our fingers on that campground.
Wait, can you scroll down to the elevation profile? That last one you were on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
So let me just go back to it.
I held my breath while we rode into that campground, hoping for an open campsite.
It's on my.
Is that the one where we rode in? The first site was available, and you're like, "I'm gonna stand here."
Yeah, and you guys,
while we go
I was
check
like,
it.
you go see if there's something better.
And we did find something better.
Yeah, that was, I think, the best campsite. of
Yeah,
the
so
trip.
we rolled into.
Is
That
that
one-
Seton Creek?
But
That's Seton Creek.
the great thing is then, since we just cut off the southern section of the loop, our next 2 campgrounds were the ones we intended to stay at, that we had already reserved. So it was
Back
kind of
in the
cool that we weren't winging it after that.
Matt Morton subscribed to the channel.
Oh, is that industrial gravel thing new?
No, it's been on it for.
I just never noticed.
That's Tim's t-shirt. I have your t-shirt.
Yeah, I should have
He's,
gotten rid
he's
of
been
it.
wearing that the whole night.
Trying to get to.
He's been wearing that the whole night. Thank you.
Right, here we go. We're trying to go to what we did to get to the coast. Because that was a total route that you pretty much,
Yeah, we made that.
you had to make it because
At
we're cutting
the-
out the whole
At the
southern.
campsite, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to the coast.
That you
So yeah,
made-
we did 56 miles in 5 hours, so you could see how much quicker we're moving. But it still started off. Do you remember how it still started off up here, like really gnarly? We were going through like double track and like roads that didn't even look like they existed anymore. And
That part was great though, but I was
Yeah.
wondering how long that was gonna last. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's where we saw that stop sign in the middle of nowhere.
and then didn't we end up on trails that were listed as that must be here, fat bike trails?
Yeah.
Big M,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Big M was great.
So this was pretty cool too. Like all of a sudden, we had
This
been riding.
is
Big
where
M was gorgeous. Yeah.
the last stop of the coast to coast riders was somewhere in this area.
Yeah.
Big M.
Oh,
Yeah, we
hey
think we-
Patty. Sorry,
Hey, what's up, Patty?
haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, so it was really so we kind of what was it? It was mostly like gravelly roads. Well, we started off on like double track, then
Yeah, I
gravel
think there was
roads,
some pavement through those super straight lines.
little pavement
yeah.
in there.
Because
Yeah, and then we're on.
we stopped at that gas station and then we
Oh,
dipped
yeah.
into Big M. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
Big M was mountain bike trails, but then we dipped off here because it turned out to be one way again, right? And we didn't want to figure
Yeah.
out what the loop was going to be.
And
go
there
around.
wasn't a cutover either, where because the
No.
trail on our GPS units showed us a route that does not exist.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were like, we were talking to a couple, family who was mountain biking, and they're like, well, there's forest roads. We wouldn't be mad at you. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah, there
You
were
could
already
also
just too many.
She also said there were 17 miles of single track back there.
Yeah. And we're like,
The
Not
way
the
that the previous days had gone.
yeah.
Didn't want
Like-
to chance it.
Yeah, that's not to risk.
We were kind of like, we saw that the route was supposed to be 56 miles. We wanted to happen in like that 5 hour time frame. And it was great that so it did get us. Well, we stopped at a
So this is day 3.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was like a little market on this corner here, right? Before or one of these
Yeah,
corners
right
before we
there,
went in.
quarter line.
Yeah. So so we were able to we ate there. They had food. Then we bought extra food for later. Brought
Cheetos for the table.
Cheetos for the table. Yeah, beer and everything, and it was great because.
Speaking of beer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say speaking of Cheetos and my.
I'll get them. Or do you want?
Oh, and it's like, give me that nutty bar.
Yeah.
I'll take a beer too.
Do you want a beer?
No, thank you.
But yeah, just a total resupply, and then the coast. I think Brad dropped some photos, and I've got some photos. Here was absolutely beautiful, like Lake Michigan. The water was freezing, but me and Brad still swam for 20 minutes in it.
Yeah.
Till my ears hurt too much because that's how cold it was.
There was our campground had a bike trail in it, and so we went one way to go to the lake, and there was a path that would get you there, but it was over a mountain basically, and Brad and Tim just took off up it, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
My intention was just to go up and look over, and I think Tim said this too. I expected to look over, get up to the top of that ridge after climbing over those down trees.
Yeah, we climbed over down trees up this steep
up this
bank.
sandy, steep road, and then I was like, I'm not going back down that. And then I expected to see the lake, and I was like, and I felt like it was just a little further, and it was 1.6 miles further. But
Yeah, well,
I don't have pictures of it, but I think you dropped pictures in there.
Ben and I a guy came along and said, oh yeah, if you ride the bike trail in the other direction, you can just walk right to the beach. So we did that, but then we had to walk it back in the other direction to try and find Tim and Brad, and that was at least a mile, if not longer. And
We
then
had just given up. We were on the beach, and we struggled so hard to get to the beach. Our bikes were on the beach with us. We're like, this is where we stay.
Tim kept saying, this is crazy, we should be seeing it by now,
Because we're bombing through the woods again.
Yeah.
But when we got to the beach, we were like,
That trail was gorgeous.
Yeah.
With all the moss.
but then we're just like, we're at the beach now.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I've got, they were just an Instagram story.
and then they really enjoyed pushing their bikes through
That
a mile of
was
sand
like
on the
day
way
2
back.
all over again. Oh my god.
So the sand on the beaches at Lake Michigan, at least in this part of Michigan, are that sand that is so hard to walk on. It's just
What did you called it singing?
I
Sand?
think
singing sand.
day 2 all over again, I think is how we felt about pushing our bikes up and over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you
That,
didn't join us to get to the beach.
Yeah,
that
that
direction.
makes sense.
I'm not fucking doing that again.
I thought if it was right there, I'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
And we would just carry everybody's bikes up there. But
Yeah, I literally thought that first big steep thing, we're gonna walk over that. There's Lake Michigan, and we could see where the sun was setting, so we knew it was that direction. That's literally how we were guiding.
I could
ourselves.
hear you behind me be like, do you see anything? I was like, I don't see shit. Channeling my inner space ball.
But it was wavy, like the coast was beautiful. We were almost able to body surf, but
Yeah.
I said the water temperature reminded me of when I was growing up and we'd go to Ocean City, Maryland in June because it was cheap, and the water would be mid to high 60s, and I'm like, oh, it's that cold. And then Erin looked it up the next day when we had internet somewhere. It turns out it was 57 degrees.
No, that's deeper water, not that close.
She looked up the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know. She could be wrong, but it was
It
chilly.
was cold.
It was like jumping under and being like,
It wasn't as cold as that river on day 1.
Oh, it was-
that.
it was colder
was
than that
colder
river.
than that.
That
Colder
Ben
than
and
that
I
river.
jumped in and fully submerged.
maybe one of you submerged.
Fully submerged. Like big, strong men.
Wow.
Tony said Big M alone at midnight was an experience.
Yeah.
I could
This
only
isn't
imagine.
the Tony show. For Brad.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that turned out to be a good ride, a good evening.
Cheers, William.
Yeah. And then what? We kind of just headed up the coast, right? Because the next night was going to be Sleeping Bear Dunes. Yeah, so we worked our way up the coast. We went to that. What? It was hilly, but not bad. Everything was rolling. Like, you know, it was like. And then even some of the roads were a little busier with the holiday weekend, but they had rumble strips and a big shoulder. So
There's
even,
like 4 big climbs, I think. that
Yeah.
We had.
I didn't mind that. That day was such a change of pace. Like it was 2 completely different trips.
Was that
Would
the
you guys
cherry
feel
day?
like that? Yeah. Yeah, I'll pull up those. I got some photos of that.
I'm really curious about.
Yeah, you and Ben really went after those hills.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys would be behind me, and then we get to the hill, and you guys would be like, "Here we go," and you would go sailing up the hill.
oh, there's some nice. Oh, that's Sleeping Bear Dunes. Oh, there's the
Wait,
area.
scroll back up.
Yep, we'll get there.
All
Let's
right.
do-
All right.
Oh, the weenies. I forgot about the weenies. Remember when I
So are
threw
those
yours in the
called
fire?
trash hooks? The things that we
Yeah.
kept calling bear hooks.
I don't. Yeah, I think they're for raccoons, but yeah. Well, they're definitely for raccoons because bears can totally reach.
Yeah, they're not to help our bears.
But yeah,
I'm
so
talking
this,
about koala bears here, Bradley.
this is the campsite
Hold
on the beach that we like near the beach that we really liked. We hung everything. This has been fixing, trying to get the dried up sealant out of Erin's tire before we put the tube in it.
Yeah, I guess.
What does that mean?
There's just a lot of sealant in there, so not necessarily trying to get the dried up stuff out, but trying to clean it out enough
Yeah,
to
because
make sure there wasn't like a giant thorn
Yeah.
sticking through that would just pop the tube, like when you put it in.
Here's the trash
Yeah.
hooks.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
And-
these are so. Every campsite should have these. Like, because when we bike tour, we've told this story before, but like, there's like
A
raccoon
raccoon
situations,
problem? Yeah, raccoon situations.
and
Sorry.
we don't know. We have nothing to do. They're like, oh, make sure you lock your food in your car. We're like, we don't have a car. So these things, when we see them, are such a relief. And that's just all our
Oh,
food hanging in
Bradley.
all the bags up there.
Both for the Bradley, I think that's the 3rd package I've eaten today. I'm gonna turn into a nutty buddy.
Oh yeah, and that was that store we were talking about. We bought a bunch of
Oh,
sausages.
Yeah, I dropped Ben's weenie in the fire.
no,
Oh.
I got poison ivy on one toe real bad, and it looks exactly like one of those sausages right now. I swear to God.
Oh, gross.
Bradley.
Show it.
Cheetos for the table.
Show the toe.
Didn't we have like an odd number of buns? And so, why were you individually?
Odd number of buns.
Why?
Why was I
no,
what?
there was-
I can't remember the individual.
We only
toasting.
had 5 sausages.
Yeah, we had more buns than sausages.
So someone was just toasting this to eat the bun.
Yeah, and then Erin, like 3 days later, pulls out a package of buns.
I
Is
asked,
anybody gonna eat these?
I
Hey,
asked,
you've been carrying these the whole time?
he
The
said,
first night I said,
You
I'll
s-
probably eat them tomorrow.
should I save these? And you said yes. And then I put them in the table for breakfast and you didn't eat them. Oh. Why is it black there?
I told you.
Are you sure it's poison ivy?
Yes.
Oh, you guys all went to
Why
bed
is it
before me,
like-
and the raccoons did start moving in, and so this was
Raccoons
my
and porcupines.
so this was my little night light, so they wouldn't get too near me, so I could have light but not disturb you guys.
Oh, that's what you were
I
doing?
took my bike headlight and then put stuff around it so it was only shining through the water bottle.
After, is this before or after that log started going bonkers?
long.
Remember you?
Oh, I went to take a leak, and I didn't. There was a raccoon right there, and remember started like honking. Like, what was the noise it made?
Barking.
Barking at me. Yeah, it was barking. Did you know raccoons like barked?
Yeah, well, they can do an alarm bark, and that particular raccoon had babies that were up that tree.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I shined my light then, and
That
they were all
particular
climbing the
raccoon.
tree, and they kept coming back. So this was my solution to sit there and drink my beers while you guys were all sleeping.
Mikey.
What are you guys talking about?
What?
You
Did
got
you-
something up there?
Oh yeah.
Nobody can see it.
It's up.
Oh really?
Yeah, it is.
Is it maybe you're on the delay?
Yeah, you're listening to us in real time, but not there. Now these photos are showing up. Are you guys seeing these photos?
Or are you just seeing us?
I don't. That can't be possible. Let's see. Yeah.
Possible.
See.
Yeah, let's see it. He's got the video right there.
Oh shit! It is just us.
That's
No.
you're super delayed.
Not that delayed. It's only like
Oh yeah, there's.
15 seconds.
Aaron's got it. Yeah, you've done something weird.
You're watching it weird.
Oh, what was this town? This was that town we stopped at for coffee. That was
Yeah,
kind of a
that's
cool
when I
little-
asked what year is it, because it's Indiana Jones, Transformers, and The Outsider.
Okay, and this is what we found. This was before we left. I'm like, this area's known for cherries. I hope we find a thing with cherries. And this little stand that just had like a little cash box, and we got the pint and slammed the whole thing, or a quart.
It was a quart, yeah.
We honked all of them.
Yeah, this is like on the road part of the tour. We're just sitting at this little stand, just honking cherries, and
They were great.
yeah, so
They
good.
were excellent cherries.
Mikey, we didn't have to filter water once all the campsites had.
No, we filtered.
I filtered.
They did. We didn't have to.
Are you saying that you're better than us?
No, you guys filtered water in the.
I filtered
Filtered
water
cold-
in Garrettsville.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
before
not
we knew
realizing-
that there was water
Yeah,
at the
We didn't see the
campsite.
well. Yeah.
Right. They had pumps everywhere.
Favorite water to swim in? To go under?
Yeah,
the water?
Lake Michigan was my favorite water.
That pond we stayed in on the way, that lake we stayed in at the way home, where the water was like
That
75.
that lake was amazing.
Yeah,
Got
that's-
photos of that, too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
That's
funny too because
beautiful.
they haven't like changed this. The sign has stuff for corn stalks and stuff that won't be there for like. And then I also like the low to no spray sign. Like, if you want your food to be organic, that's like.
Yeah.
Is it no or is it low? Because they're two different things.
You might want to wash it.
Yeah.
Have you tried not worrying about it?
Yeah. I wasn't worried about it. I just think it's a funny sign.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's better off just not having it. Like, do you think that's going to affect the buyers who are pulling up here, the tourists who were everywhere as we like came by?
Look how I'm spraying.
I don't know. I can't say because I'm not the typical consumer.
You're not.
I appreciate that sign.
Wow.
There's always one.
Yeah. Well,
Or four in this case. 'cause
Yeah.
I mean, if
it
there
didn't
is no
slow any of us
sign,
down.
then they're spraying
True.
The bikini
everything
side of it, yeah.
on there. But I also know that, I mean, one thing that consumers don't necessarily know is how incredibly difficult it is to grow tree fruit without spraying.
Oh,
If it said 100% organic, I would be like, I don't trust this at all.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. But obviously,
I mean, there are things that organic farmers can spray.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, when Dave goes to Home Depot for me on Thursday, he'll be
Yeah.
picking some up.
Monsanto has made certain that organic farmers can spray.
anywho, we'll get into those.
Let's keep it on topic.
So this was on top of one of the climbs, a really cool overlook on Lake Michigan. I think these weren't called were these the Ludington Dunes? There was something. There another set of dunes, not Sleeping Bear, but really really pretty views of the coastline, views of Bend.
The Ludington Dunes were south of where we camped
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first.
Oh,
the first
the
night on
ones
the
where we
coast.
thought you guys went.
Yes,
I
exactly.
like that picture of Ben that you just skipped over.
We'll go back. I went forward a minute.
Whoa.
So snippy.
Yeah, this was this tiny town, Frankfurt, we went to that had this really great brewery. It was Belgian.
Oh yeah. That dude that we met from the.
There's a guy running a food truck from.
one of my favorite people we've met while we've been
Where was he
doing
from?
this.
Finland?
No, he's from. He's
Denmark?
He's Dutch. Yeah,
Dutch.
he's from the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Why you? Did you not remember either, or you just like watching me struggle?
The whole time I wanted to be like, I'm Dutch. But, I know.
You're Dutch.
Yeah.
You
I'm
are?
Dutch too.
You are?
Oh, dairy farm.
Oh, is that why you kept like every time I was like, I think he's from that accent's from somewhere, and you kept being like, he's Dutch.
No, because of the sauces.
Oh, the sauces.
The sauces were called
The-
Dutch.
the
And
sign.
you remember the sign?
The sign. DE is short for
Deutschland.
Denmark.
whatever, wherever he's from.
Yeah, that place was
You're the
awesome.
one who's good at geography.
Yeah, usually.
U.S. jogger.
The accent I picked up from cyclocross.
Really?
Ah,
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. It sounded so.
Bratton, I thought he was Quebecois.
I thought he was a Youper.
A Youper.
Yeah, Upper Peninsula.
And that one,
I know, I just like
that
saying
one
Youper.
Offspring song.
What's that? What's that?
You're fired.
What is that?
That one
The
Offspring
Offspring
song?
song.
I don't get it.
Where's this? Is this
Big boy.
Sleeping Bear Dune? So
Well, yeah.
those are the dunes
The
in
national
the
park,
background.
yeah.
We stayed at Peterson Beach.
That's
Is that what it's called?
We went to Peterson Beach. We stayed at the Platte River Campground.
Platte River Campground. So we were still 8 miles of riding to the dunes everyone associates with Sleeping
Yes,
Bear.
but we were within the Sleeping Bear
National
Bear
Lakefront.
National Recreation
That's
Area.
fine.
Yeah.
Put the Charlie Brown music to this.
This was it. This was so
You
beautiful.
zoom in on that tattoo.
You
Just
son of
kidding.
Can't see it. It's just a little.
a-
Just
Goes
the
all way
tail.
around.
Just the tip.
Just
You can only see just the tip.
That's what friends are for.
It's funny because this just looks like Brad's being contemplative walking the beach, but he's actually being a total pouty baby here because there was like 2 feet of algae.
Yes, let's
that you had to
let's
walk-
get into this. Yeah, let's get into
And the dead animal.
yeah.
I went under.
What is the first
Like a man.
word? What are the first words out of your mouth when we sat down?
I was like, it smells kind of bad around.
You said it stinks of death. You were like, this is the.
Yeah, but once you walked out like 4 feet into the water,
4
there wasn't any more. Like you could see through it. There wasn't a ton of algae.
You
It didn't
got
smell
a little
anymore.
upset too quick. You went back. We were like out there swimming for. It was fun.
I went under.
full submerge.
Yeah.
What about Ben?
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
Ben? This Ben?
Wow. Man, can you send that to me right now? Woo! Holy smokes.
We all went under at the same time.
Oh yeah, we counted
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
We did.
And you watched him do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was under.
Yeah, we were all under. So.
Damn, that picture.
Really? Are you sweating again?
Am I?
Is it hot?
Yeah, a little warm.
Yeah. See, they're getting ready to go under. I was.
Yeah, we were assessing the conditions.
Yeah.
Making our plan.
That bathing suit I learned the hard way the day before.
Well, you learned the hard way.
Riding the bike left little to the imagination for people that were heading the opposite way.
Full dangle.
So it's not a
they're-
good bike riding.
They were a little short. Maybe
Well-
it felt like the boys were hanging out.
Ooh. Hold on.
Cake donuts on a stick.
Next time you have a fire,
Like
try
marshmallow.
roasting cake donuts on a
What,
stick.
what are
like
you doing
marshmallow.
after this?
Buying cake donuts?
There's a Dunkin' a couple doors over. They'll have to definitely.
No, they don't. Well, I guess they do have some.
Can
They have
I?
cake. They have some old. They call them old
I
fashioned.
could cut the donut in half.
He doesn't say to cut it in half.
Wait,
Will you?
I'm gonna cut it in half,
Oh, we have
roast it
man.
like a marshmallow, and then put a nutty buddy in between it and eat it like a sandwich.
There we go. Sorry, technical difficulties. Technical.
How did you do that by accident? Oh boy, man. Thanks.
Starbursts are really good over a fire.
I don't know, man.
So
Have you ever
heard
tried to
that
burn?
before.
Have you ever tried
But they
to?
would just melt into the fire.
I tried to do circus peanuts once, thinking like it was gonna be like
Like marshmallows?
like a s'mores,
Yeah.
and all it did was like get smaller and harder. It was disgusting.
Unbound said the water can cause shrinkage. Like, I was in the pool.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Anywho.
The
Is it
water
break
that
time?
first night though, the water was so Jesus Christ.
Contain yourself. Oh, that's why you have you put the shorts on over the suit after, so you would be
Because that was
flat.
the second
The next
day.
day.
The next day.
So you learned your lesson.
I think you should move your cursor. You look like you're.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to zoom in.
Right here.
Enhance.
You want to
Enhance.
enhance?
Whoa, what's sprayed on the back?
You tell us, Bradley.
Yeah,
I left.
couldn't handle this.
Oh,
Oh, this is the dunes. Yeah.
that's outside the dune climb.
That dune climb does not look like fun.
That's
No.
just to get there. That's not the real dune climb.
My dad said exactly what you said when I told him that they have to rescue people because the sand's so hard to walk in, and their perspective is so skewed by the big
Yeah.
dunes that they just get.
Because it's so flat, and it's just the lake below. It's hard to tell just how far it is. And I think for a number of years, Sleeping Bear Dunes was like in the top 5 national parks that required people to get rescued
Yeah.
because so many people attempted to dune climb, and now they charge people money up to $2,000-$3,000 to depending on the time of year.
If they have to rescue you.
If they have to rescue you, yeah.
Well, what time of year do you believe the price goes up in?
Probably winter, because it's harder to get out there.
Just curious. I feel like you just threw that in there, and it's not actually part of it.
Oh, well,
I mean, it might be on a sliding scale. I don't know.
it sounds like you don't know.
I don't know, but I didn't make any.
I sound pretty confident.
Yeah. But you don't know the time of year.
No, I don't.
I don't know. Have either of you two been rescued from the dunes?
Not yet. I do have pictures of me at the dunes. I went down like a quarter of the way, maybe even an eighth of the way, and I was like, it was so hard to climb back up. There's no way I was doing it. But then our friends Zach and Chelsea, I think, went there one time, and they said there was a German CrossFitters that were like running all the way down the dunes and then running back up, and then they would do like burpees at the top, and then they would run back down and run back up.
And then they'd see you and they'd be like, "Hello, friend."
Probably.
Wow, there we get the pose again.
And now he's just hamming it up.
Wow, every year,
Sam.
Sleeping Bear Dunes conducts more than 60 search and rescue missions.
Sam asked us the other day that they rescue for free for future rescue. Yeah, is it like when you're like, I remember I was in Puerto Rico and you could go into the forts in San Juan for free because it was Memorial Day. So, is there
Yeah, it's
something
just like that.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Where is this?
This was
That's,
when we pulled off on the beach
Oh, yeah.
because it was.
That was after the parade, right?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting part of the trip too. Is that
Before the parade.
when we were riding out of Sleep, yeah, before, but they were lining up. But every town we went through after we left Sleeping Bear Dunes, we did this kind of up around the Mitten, or like part of the Mitten of Michigan along the coast. But every town we went through was having like their 4th of July little parade, and it just made for like a surreal kind of
Yeah.
experience already in these small towns and
Well,
tourist season.
the one parade we went past, they were preparing. It was like a contingent from Ohio.
Yeah, they had like
They had like I don't know what the Ohio State Buckeye mascot's name is.
Buckeye Chuck. That's the groundhog. What is the name of the
Brutus.
Brutus.
Oh
Brutus.
yeah. And
Buckeye Chuck. That's our competition to.
yeah, there.
What's the name of the groundhog they? Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney
We
Phil.
have Buckeye Chuck.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyways,
When the lake water level is high, it makes search and rescue more challenging, so it costs more money. So it is seasonal.
what season is it higher in?
I think it varies depending on rainfall, and
Rainfall affects like Michigan's water level.
You know what else
I don't know.
affects the water level?
it didn't say what season.
Ice.
Every night.
Yeah, it's probably more of a tidal thing, right?
Twice a day.
What?
Right. No. You're right. Yeah. No free rescues, but you.
The buy two get one free deal. So you and a party, like
Yeah.
BOGO, like if we
Yeah.
both get lost, like they'll bail us
Yeah,
both out.
it's gonna cost their helicopter just as much to bring up 2 people as one.
Yeah, we go halvesies.
Yeah.
Go Dutch, as they say.
I think they use snowmobiles to haul people up in the winter. Go Dutch, as they say. That's good, yeah. I love a good callback.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was our last day out of. This is one of the cool things though about riding around here is how like Sleeping Bear Dunes, there's these huge inland lakes too. So a lot of times we're riding and there's water on both sides. There's this pretty lake on the one side, pretty lake on the other side, right? I thought this was a pretty cool ride.
Kind of torturous.
To not be able to go under.
You had to not go.
We thought of stopping at something like halfway and swimming. Yeah, then we went a little out of our way to go, like not out of our way far, but to go into this town. And this is where they were getting all ready for 4th of July here too. We ate here, right? But then we went to the coffee shop, ate here.
Had an interaction with the locals.
But then we had the best waitress ever.
She was hilarious.
Yeah, she gave us her Kardashian stickers.
Yeah. Each
and a
one
Minecraft sticker.
compared to our personality. And then she was like, "Oh, so you guys sticking around for the parade?" And we're like, "Oh, we're trying to hot-tail it out of here before that."
She was like, smart.
Yeah.
She was like, well, here, let me help.
Yeah. But yeah, that was you could see the geography, just how cool it is. Then we stopped that's what those other photos, that was where we stopped at this little brewery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then after the brewery, it was bike path the entire way back into Traverse City, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. So the one side looking out over Grand Traverse Bay was dark. We even saw lightning.
Dark, stormy. You could see the rain in the distance.
I think we heard a little bit of thunder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then the other side was the same blue skies we've had the entire trip. And then as we got farther down the bike path, we realized there were puddles. It had missed us. So like we had decided whether we wanted to stop at that brewery. Like we're like, should we just keep going? They were like, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's have a beer. Let's take a break and have a beer. And so I think it was that timing that probably kept us out of that passing thunderstorm too. Just
Ever
lucky.
since that guy splashed us in Cincinnati, we've had really good luck with
Yeah.
the rain.
The worst. That was still the worst thing that's ever happened on tour, I think. Worse than pushing our bikes
Well,
a half a mile up that hill for 45 minutes.
We immediately saw why he did it, and we all understood, and we were
Yeah.
all like, I guess you had your opportunity and you took it.
What I spaced out. What are you talking about?
So we were what?
When Yonda dropped us off in
Oh.
Cincinnati, and
And it
then
was raining
So
Oh.
the
let's,
whole way down.
let's play this clearly. So we started riding. It had drizzled, but we had managed to stay. This is a bike tour, 2020, right? In 2020?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why we hired Jan to drop us off, because we couldn't get a truck and we couldn't ride with anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
we get down to
St. Yonda.
Cincinnati. We go to a bakery, get pastries, whatever. Start riding. It's drizzling. Hoping it's not going to get too hard.
Speaking of,
Oh, yeah, there is
You,
Yonda.
you want him to rub some lotion on your toesies?
Can I? Hey,
hold on, this is important.
anyway, so it's kind of raining, but we're not getting completely soaked, and so it's kind of like, I remember put on like a windbreaker that was kind of keeping me dry enough, and I'd wear my chrome shoes, which are a little waterproof. That's what I remember thinking.
It was
And
like
then
a mist that I was like, if it keeps up like this, we'll dry out in no time.
Yeah.
It's not
And so then we get to, there's this part that everyone knows that they're actually bypassing on OTED now. You won't have to go that way anymore, where it kind of like breaks off by the airport, and then you have to go out on roads. And
You're
we're
right
standing
next to
there.
the water treatment plant.
Yeah, and we're standing there waiting for the traffic to pass.
In front of a huge,
Yeah.
muddy, dirty ass city water puddle.
And this truck comes and goes right through it, and I just remember seeing a wave.
It was like
Yeah.
being on a water ride at Cedar
the
Point.
first,
Yeah.
the initial contact of the water, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it was so, because it hit so hard, and I remember just being so flabbergasted, which was the worst thing to do because my mouth was still open when the actual wave hit and went straight into my mouth.
I remember this, and then we were just all standing there almost like frozen.
We were
like, just
all
shocked.
the wettest we'd all been.
Soaked.
We were soaked.
We were soaked through. Like down your legs, into your shoes. We were completely soaked. And at the time, it like almost destroyed my entire mood.
I was
Until-
laughing so hard.
Oh, yeah.
I know,
I'm glad
I
you
know.
were able to, because I was so pissed. And then like it turned out not to matter, because then it poured for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Just absolutely downpoured for the next 5 hours of riding. But in that moment, I just remember like I'm keeping dry, I'm avoiding puddles, and then it was just like covered in dirty road water.
And then I was really glad that it was raining to wash all that disgusting water off. At one point, that same ride, I remember
I wonder if I could.
water is just hitting me in the face for 3 hours, and I was like, I remember looking around thinking it's not raining that bad anymore, and then I looked forward and I'm like just a few inches off of Ben's wheel, and the water off of his tires is spraying straight into my face, and had been doing that for who knows how long.
I meant to search my channel.
Oh, is this Tom Fat's water?
Yeah. Would that be it?
No,
Yeah.
that's not Cuyahoga Falls to Millersburg. That's
Cincinnati to Cedar Creek.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the other where you had the cursor.
Oh yeah, the day started not too bad. Let's see. Oh, this is before. So yeah, we're damp, but it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And then it was like when this little section ended, I think that we just got blasted.
Dude.
It was on this road, right? It's when we broke off.
Do you
Yeah.
remember seeing when we were in that one town? There was
Oh.
like 5 ghost
Can't look at
bikes.
your face on this video.
Oh wait, which one? Which?
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Wait till you
what's
see
Ben?
Ben.
What's Ben?
He
ride?
did the reverse.
Yeah, look at the water pouring off.
Oh,
the
because we
freeway.
were doing OTEP in reverse. So
Yeah, so Ben shaved a reverse. What would you even
It's
call it?
disgusting. That's what I would call it.
Is it the chin strap? It was.
But yeah, it was,
Well, then you got me back because I had to look at your legs this whole trip.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
they got pretty beat up.
They did.
do you remember?
Yeah.
So this experience, we had been like just riding through the pouring rain, a little bit chilly for a couple hours at this point.
3 or
and
4 hours.
And our, what would you call it? Our
Destination, our
destination.
lunch,
Yeah.
our
I was looking for
warm,
more of a-
dry.
Yeah, I was looking for like one of like a movie reference to like a place you're trying to get. That's like a movie,
Oh.
Oz or whatever. No, that's not the right context.
Give
but-
us a Lord of the Rings reference.
The Oasis.
Oh shit.
Yeah, what are they trying to get to? Like Mordor or something?
No, they don't want to
Oh,
go to
you got that
Mordor.
right.
Is that right?
Well, then, yeah, I mean, kind of. Where do the elves live?
Oh, when they're Lothlorien.
Lothlorien, yeah. It was our
All right, I'm
Lothlorien.
already bored.
You brought it up.
Yeah, I know. But we get to this place that the first time we did Ohio Deer, the first 2 times this was an abandoned factory and they had turned it into like this really cool looking brewery and we were excited about it. We get there and it's closed.
Yeah, it was.
We did get really lucky because it didn't rain after this, and by the time we got to camp, we were all had like pretty much dried out, and then it didn't rain again the rest
Yeah.
of that trip.
No, we completely dried out by the time we got to camp. It was amazing.
Yeah, and that
Another
was
gas
the.
station
Whoa.
bike touring lunch here.
Yeah, that was the first year that we had our Swift bags and learned that they're. I don't think that they say that they're waterproof, but they're close enough.
Mine did really
the
well.
Zeitgeist was great. The Sugarloaf was not.
Yeah, the Sugarloaf has, I think the flat top was a problem.
Yeah.
That the water just sits there and
Yeah.
soaks in through the zippers, whereas,
And it's also getting blasted from underneath. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
So it's
Zeitgeist.
the Zeitgeist, but
You
Speaking of
said
that,
blasted a lot today. Maybe
just,
we
have you
used-
tried saying
oh,
it again? Say, blast. It's got a good.
that was that.
How tired do I look there?
Aw. But look how much look at
I
how
know.
much
Look
love
how
is
tender Ben
in
is. Wow, I didn't
Ben's
know.
face.
This is the day we were like, I
No,
thought-
we had a great time.
Yeah, but I thought me and you were like, wait, we're the ones who had the beers and ate the edibles. Why is Ben acting like this?
Was that when he was hangry and then he wasn't anymore?
Oh, that's right.
No, this is
Ben got
on the
No,
way
that's
home.
the end.
On the way to the
Yeah.
Ben got hangry on
Cabin.
the way to sleep out of Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Oh,
We
that
were like-
picture of me that you insisted on taking on the bridge.
Aaron was like, "Can't you tell he's hangry?" I was like, "He's like
I-
3 words to me today, just like yesterday." Just kidding. Just,
I was
3
not a
words.
happy camper at that point in time. In case you can't tell.
Yeah.
You're gonna write a stern letter to somebody.
Yeah. Dear Michigan. Fuck you.
So I was looking
Michigan.
at the pictures of the dunes, and so this is one thing I wanted to ask you guys about. Where were those?
Wait,
Did I pass the dunes pictures?
wait, go up again.
No,
God damn it. You never listen to me.
wrong way.
Oh, hi, Mikey.
Did you see that giant hot dog?
Where were the pictures of us at the dunes?
You scrolled right past them. I tried to stop you.
Did you?
No, I was looking at a picture of me.
Yeah, so I kind of brought this up in the recent video, but I wanted to hear from you guys, and we chatted about it a little bit. But like gear wise and loading bike wise, I guess we'll start with Ben since he's up there. Like, I believe you said you would do stuff different. Like for what we did on this trip, like you're packed here with low rider front panniers and regular back panniers. What would you do differently?
Pass. No,
I'm gonna.
I think
test
with what we
audience.
did the first couple of days, the panniers were bouncing around quite a bit.
I heard you talking to that front one a couple of times.
You were
Talking to
talking to
it?
it?
Yeah. Like if this
Don't
little
remember
guy, you
that.
said something about this little guy. Maybe you didn't know you
I
said
don't
that.
know.
Maybe that
my
was
plan.
when you ate edibles and drank beer.
That did not happen on the first day. We did not touch anything because
Yeah, I think I'd go a little more like bag versus the rack bag setup.
so you think like a seat pack type bag and like a handlebar bag would be
So rackless setup or
Yeah.
rackless setup, like what people consider kind of bike packing setup now.
For the
What
first
didn't-
couple days.
Yeah.
And then hopping off to like push the bike, the panniers would just bump into me because there wasn't like
Oh.
any some
Single
of those
track.
spots like there was no room to like walk next to your bike, so you had to like it was
Ooh.
I don't know. For the rest of it it was fine, but
So you would, yeah. So for road or like gravel touring, you're happy with the setup. For like when it's single track and rough, this was a little too.
it was all right, but I would have liked to have tried like just like the big seat pack and maybe just a handlebar bag or
Do you have the problem I have where like my seat, I don't have a whole lot of seat post clearance, so like you have to get it lifted up.
Like
Yeah.
you mean like so? Here's Brad's. So you're without the seat. Oh, so that. Oh, so you're saying what Erin does? She actually has a rack to hold her Zeitgeist or Paradise style bag.
Is that the quick release one too? Yeah, I like that one.
My bike's tall enough that I'm just running a bag like that on the rear without any problem.
Ooh,
But, like-
really? Because you make some adjustments.
Oh yeah. Well, Erin fixed it up for me.
Yeah.
I could bring that up in a minute. But I was thinking the same thing. Like, because when we did Connecticut, like Nutmeg and stuff, I rode my Raleigh, and I just did I did a Zeitgeist on the front and a Zeitgeist on the back, and then a frame bag, and that was great for like that kind of rocky, rough stuff because it just everything's away, it holds it in place. Narrow stuff doesn't matter. But my Raleigh just doesn't have the clearance, and the gunner is built with the mounts and everything. I only clipped a tree once with the panniers. It didn't really bother me, but all the weight on the front, like I said, and the sandy stuff affected me. But I took some of these Infinity tools and just added extra straps to my panniers on the rack. And once I did that, I didn't have a problem with the panniers bouncing or moving around after that. But yeah, so with this setup, I think you were saying you were fine, right?
No,
No.
Absolutely not. No.
no. For the well, first I wanted to say 2.8s sound interesting. Peter
anyone get any
was talking about.
ticks.
The Stooge Rambler and a Crust Nor'easter would be great on that. I really like the Nor'easter. But we had tick sightings, but nobody got any.
We every single one except you had a tick on us
No,
at
I
one
had
point,
one
but we
on
never
me.
had bites.
After we saw the BJ, I had a tick.
Moment
crawling
of
up my
romantic
leg.
intimacy.
Sorry, moment of romantic
They
intimacy.
were a little close to the trailhead for that. Trailhead, you know what I mean?
As soon as you said trailhead, Yeah, one was crawling on my leg, and I was like, ooh. And then I was doing the tick check on my bike and almost rode head on into a truck. Who was laughing at me, and I was like, they could tell what I was doing though. They were like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Man's looking for ticks.
that guy just brushed a tick off of me. So, sorry. Carry on. We had some close calls, but nothing. Nobody got bit.
We each found one tick crawling.
Yeah, every one of us found a tick crawling on us, but flicked it off before we got bit, luckily. Yeah, fuck you, tick.
Suck it, ticks. Wait, don't.
No, don't do that.
Brad, tell us about your bicycle.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. So, it was the summer of...
This is like trying to get a story from my mom.
Oh, man. I would change the handlebars.
That's what I said. So you were happy with the bag setup?
Yeah. I think I would change the handlebars, but then I can't do the anything cradle in the front. So I would do the Salsa 8-pack, and then I'd probably have the same stuff up front. But I don't know. I think there's a way to consolidate some of that. The panniers in the back I thought were going to be an issue, but they were high enough. They didn't really get in the way. The bars were super wide, so I clonked them against a number of trees. But yeah, the bars are those Richie Coyote. They're probably great for somebody. They just aren't for me. They didn't work out.
They're mountain bike. They feel like they would be great for mountain
They were
biking.
when we were on the MTB stuff, they were fine, but there's no good resting position. We taped Yonda taped up the bends in the bars for me, and that would be my resting position. But if you lock out your elbows while you're in the grips, my wrist would start going numb, and I'd have to. I don't know if you saw me shaking out my hands a lot. I moved my hands more than any other trip.
At night and during the ride.
Goes without saying. And and I can we get a different picture? I don't like that one.
It's not up.
What's that?
It's not up there.
Oh, and then yeah. I guess it was just really the bars.
Anyways, on to Erin.
What would I don't think I'd really change anything.
Yeah, because you
Tired.
seem just tired. But you guys said you both ran the same tires and you had no issues. So tire rim combination. I don't know what happened, but
No, they weren't running the same tires I was running. We had the same
Same
width.
so you ran Zeitgeist in the back, Swift. I don't know what the name of their half frame bag is, and then you borrowed my Roadrunner Bella Orange bag, and that's like a walled basket there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because that's made to fit in a walled 137. So
What's your front rack?
I don't know.
I can't remember what your front rack is. Because usually
I can maybe
Can you-
check my spreadsheet.
Can you zoom in on her rack?
Oh, yeah, I
I think
could've
that's
done
a Soma something or other.
I think it is a Soma something.
Yeah, we could have.
Nice
I could
job.
have done this on everybody's bike, but I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't think about zooming in.
I'll look at the Soma something tonight.
And then you also bought a
Back to
quilt
the
for this.
Champs Elysees.
Oh, you would go for something super Frenchy like that.
I didn't really have a choice.
So you also you used to use a sleeping bag that was synthetic and you used to strap it to the front in a dry bag. But I know you switched to a down
yeah.
quilt for this trip, so you were able to fit everything into the bags, right?
Yeah, every time I packed for a trip, I cursed my sleeping bag. Like it wasn't like super cheap, but it was. I bought it when we started doing this and didn't really want to spend like $300 on something that maybe I wasn't gonna use. But then every time I did pack it up, I cursed it and hated it. So I did finally invest in something smaller. So it's like a third the size and a third the weight. And it was great. I mean, great for packing up, but also lovely to sleep in.
Yeah, I had gone the quilt direction, down quilt direction too, and it's like the packability is just so nice that I also like quilts. But
Demi Porter.
Demi-Port Tour.
Demi-Port.
Oh, Yinzer's in here. Yinzer just rode the Gap Trail in one day. You guys met Yinzer
Oh, he was talking
on
about
the
that.
industrial,
Nice.
the little
Wow.
gravel ride we did.
He was talking about doing it. I didn't know he
Yeah.
did
Which
it.
direction?
Nice.
He from Pittsburgh,
Hmm.
but he was
So
saying
you
he
have to
might
go
do it the other
down.
way next time.
So wait, how far is that? Like 180?
It was 100. It would be 150 just the trail,
Okay.
but it was 160 for him leaving from his door and the side
Nice.
trail.
Nice.
And I saw his. He linked to Strava. He did it at 15 miles an hour. Was for what
Wait,
rolling
that's
time.
going up most of the way, right?
Yeah,
Or is
it's-
that sharp up?
No, it's not sharp. It's very.
okay.
It's like barely registers as an uphill, but it is uphill. Yeah.
So I tried to make it cooler, but Tim fucked it up.
With the truth.
As usual.
Oh yeah, I was gonna pull up some of your other photos. Oh, we gotta do a giveaway.
Oh, what are you giving away?
So we got to come up with a contest. Model they said they will send an 8-pack to somebody, but we have to come up with a contest. So they're kind of like belay straps. I like them for a different reason. I use the belay straps to hold the zeitgeist on, but for like a bunch of other stuff, strapping stuff on the bags and stuff. They just came out with a new glow in the dark version. That was the original plan to give away, but they realized you're not allowed to give away Kickstarter stuff. It's against their terms of service.
Wow.
But they still said, so I'd made a post, but they still said they would send an 8-pack of these straps, and they've been in a bunch of my videos. I won't go through all the features and stuff like that. Oh, I don't have that up on the screen. But yeah, if you want to check out, I will share their Kickstarter because they're willing to send these
Modal?
for free. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, model. Yeah, they're great, and they're these guys.
Did you see what Tony said?
No.
Announce the contest after I already won. Real nice.
Adam
Yeah.
suck.
But yeah, you could just loop them anyway. I use them on like every bikepacking trip now, and I use them to like put stuff on the Velo Orange rack. But yeah, that's
The first day you wore one,
I
we
got-
used it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, Micah's derailleur ripped off his bike, and I was able to use this to tie his derailleur. I'm like, I put it. They had said in their like literature, like wear it on your wrist, and I thought that was like goofy, and I put it on anyways, and then it was like on my wrist and like at the ready when I needed it.
You were like, this company just sent me this, and this is what it's supposed to be for, and I'm actually using it for what it's supposed
Yeah,
to
I
be
know.
for.
Yeah, now I use them all the time. So, what would be a good like? We did one that was like a geography contest once. Like, I pulled a map and then I kept zooming in. I was thinking something with the numbers from our trip. What would be a good? It'd have to be a number you have to know. But it gives people like a chance to guess a wide array of stuff. What would be? Pudgy, I already have a set of these here for you because you won a contest and we end up never getting together. So.
Oh wait, that's more like The Price is Wrong.
Yeah, price is wrong. Surely we could think of a contest.
Don't call me. Sure.
I don't want to just do a randomized one. I like the idea of like a quiz. You know what I mean? Like something that people have to guess.
Yeah. How many bears we saw?
How many bears we saw on
Or
this
how many
trip?
porcupines we saw?
How many roadkill porcupines? I
Ben personally saw, because he went out of his
I can-
way to find them.
Where are you going?
Oh, okay.
That's how many roadkill porcupines you saw?
Yeah. On our 5-day trip.
On a 5-day trip.
On a 5-day trip.
Should we do that? Should that be it?
Sure. Yeah. How many dead porcupines did Ben see?
All right, yeah, let's do it. All right. So it would be an 8-pack of these. I think they do 4 short and 4 of the long ones.
Whoever says the answer first.
Yeah, you just gotta get it.
Peter's not even trying.
What's that?
And my guess is 666.
No, we'll do it. We'll do a start time. Don't guess yet. We'll do a like an app like a
They're already gone.
Yeah,
It's too
already
late.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
first
that-
one to guess.
And then we'll do if no one gets it right, we'll do
Game.
prices right rules. Closest without going over always. 420.
Sam wins.
All right. Yeah, everyone's already guessing, but no one has hit the number yet.
There's
So
a
just
delay.
keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. No one's hit the number yet, so
No multiple guessing because some
Yeah.
people have already gotten in there
Yeah.
a number of times.
Sam Diaz can do another guess because that's hilarious.
Yeah, if you say a funny number, you get to go again, like Peter and Sam. Oh,
Matt Ford, channel member, says 1. Pudgy, channel member and moderator, had guessed 8. Danny Boyle had 6.
Wait.
it's
Somebody got
already
it.
yeah.
Oh,
Gordie Howe hat trick.
Gordy, and isn't 3 a
Yeah.
hat trick too?
Oh shit.
Isn't that his name?
Yep.
And that's why he guessed 3? Everyone got 6.
I like Tony's new contest.
Man. Remind me of punch Tony in the belly
That's
next
right.
time I see you. Yeah, try and guess.
I have other stuff. We could do a secondary contest. Yeah, so Gordy
got
Howe,
it.
hat trick. You actually got it on the nose.
Oh, and Chris
So-
actually guessed my name,
And
my
Tony,
age.
Tony guessed it. Right.
Way later. Yeah. After we already said what it was. So Gordy Howe, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or you're the Discord, but you just need to send me your address. And you're going to have to tell me your... Well,
And a
now-
picture. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no shirt. I made that joke because I assume he's a dude and I'm straight, so that now I'm all nervous about how.
Yeah,
offensive
you've
that would
already
be.
explained way too much. You already went too far. You already made it weird. You should have just shut up.
Yeah, you're right.
You already screwed it
I'm
up.
already worried. I'm already worried about getting canceled with all the drunk things I've said on this stream.
You, yeah, it's gonna happen.
Oh, you missed the contest. We went with how many dead
Porcupine.
porcupines Ben saw on the trip.
What's
someone-
the answer?
3.
3. And someone with hat trick in their name. Do you know hat trick is what a hat trick is?
Yes.
What is it?
That's when somebody scores 3 goals in a soccer game.
Soccer game.
Well, close. Hockey, but yeah.
In a soccer game, too.
In your face.
I believe they've moved it over from hockey to other things. I'm not going to dispute that.
Well, not allowed.
They don't even wear hats in hockey.
3 successes
Pat
of the
Cherry.
same kind, especially consecutive ones within a limited period, chiefly in hockey or soccer.
Ah, there you go.
The scoring of 3 goals in a game by one player.
In your fucking face now.
Only they call it a turkey.
Gordy said, maybe I'm a dude, maybe I'm not. Well, shirt off either way.
God damn it. God damn it.
There's no picture. There's no photo requirement.
So
just an
Tony
actor.
won anyhow?
No.
No.
Tony said that like after we had already been talking
We
about
would
hat
change the
tricks.
rules if Tony won.
Yeah.
So you already changed the contest on him.
Ames said, wow, why did 24 seem reasonable? How many porcupines have you seen
Oh,
in
she
your
did
life?
get.
If I tried to guess how many porcupines I've seen, period, dead or alive in my life, it's not 24.
There was the one night when we swam in Lake Michigan and I woke up to gnawing sounds. And I thought it was something. All I
In
could
one of our
picture.
tents?
All I could picture was something chewing through one of our bags. And I got out of the tent and I'm flashing my flashlight around. And that's how I do it. And, and I didn't see anything, but I could still hear it. And at the next campsite across the road, underneath their car, was a porcupine just gnawing at something on the bottom of their car. To the degree that I was like, I need to tell these people in the morning because I don't know what this thing just chewed through. Because I chased it away, but I know it came back because I could hear it start up like 10 minutes after I got back into bed. That's my porcupine story.
Yeah. Is that what porcupines do? They gnaw at
They are crazy for salt, so I was assuming it was.
Stephen Marino super chatted $9.99. Mordor.
Wow. The AI got the like
Mordor. Even
Yeah.
it was even like
Well, 'cause
sinister about it.
Is it AI or is it just because it's a British accent?
Mordor.
I don't know.
Thanks, Steve Marino.
Did it take that long for the super chat to go in? Because we haven't talked about Mordor in a while.
I think it's just a good. I just think Steven was doing a callback.
That might be too far for a callback that I appreciate. No, I love a good callback.
Gordy says porcupines love car engine wires.
Yeah,
And Gordy also guessed that it was 3.
right, yeah.
I
So
got it.
Gory's right. Yeah.
When I did an
Porcupine
outdoor
expert, yeah.
when I did an outdoor leadership thing in high school, that was one of the porcupine stories that our teacher told us about porcupines and car engines.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've only seen one
They
live.
shoot their quills into them.
And they don't. The last time.
They do shoe quills, I think.
Well, I think the
Oh.
spiky beaver variant shoots
Yeah, who said- was
quills.
Brad the one who said that?
Yeah.
We're riding at Jake's Rocks, right? And
No,
he's
I
like,
thought it was when we were in West Virginia.
Was it
No, it's Jake's Rocks.
Oh.
Yeah, we're riding
Oh,
at
it
Jake's
was
Rocks. He's like,
Jake's
look, a
Rocks.
spiky beaver.
I didn't say Spiky Beaver. Somebody else said Spiky Beaver. I thought
Who
it was
was
a
the
beaver
somebody
running
else?
away.
Who was the
for a
somebody
second.
else?
Oh yeah, that was me. Some kind of spiky beaver.
Runer just said you called back Chocolate Rain. Was that too long?
That's a reference. It's a big difference.
Anyways, let's get into this set of photos.
Oh, man.
Oh, yes!
Do you got the Magnum PI music?
Gordy,
Should-
anyways, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram or if everyone has different screen names everywhere, so I can't remember. I just need your address. But
Should we explain
Ruiner
what
also-
I noted before we saw this picture? Your series of pictures?
Tony Scarpity super chatted $1.99.
How does it say his name? Scarpity.
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 You don't need to make a purchase to win. No purchase necessary. That's what they say. No purchase necessary.
But we'll consider it.
Yeah. I've got a couple extras, Tony.
They make all wire cards and vegetable oil based. Oh, see, my dumbass. I was like, this car had Ohio license plate. They had stickers for Cincinnati, and I was like, there must be some residual salt on there. That the
Oh, you
porcupine-
did say
yeah.
that. Residual salt.
Yeah.
It's July.
Well, they apparently don't have a Mikey Maris to take our car to get washed like I do.
Yeah.
I started the sentence with my dumbass thought.
So we're at this beach in Traverse City,
Son of.
and Tim, we're getting ready to leave, and Tim's walking over, and his fly is open. Did he have his hands in his pants? Something, I don't know. And then
Like,
You gotta
later,
play that.
later,
Why you gotta put that one?
Ben looks at his pictures, and this is what he sees.
I didn't realize that all of this hand in the pants going on.
Hanky panky.
But it's better as like a slideshow.
Yeah.
Like you gotta no. Go back.
Look
You
out
gotta
the
start
jacket
at
I
the
look.
beginning.
They come across so small during this quarter, but,
See, now this, yeah.
Brad's not exactly looking that cool, but at least his hands aren't in his pants.
I like that picture though.
That's not my best moment.
I fucking love that picture. Not for you, but for me.
Yeah, were you doing a tick check in your grundle?
I think I need to do a boxer adjustment.
That's what they call it these days.
I'm
We're
jerking off on the beach.
we're also 10
You were-
we're also 10 feet
you
away
were-
from a very busy road.
you were coming up behind Brad, and he's making
pun
all these
intended.
poses.
Yeah, you see those shorts?
Yeah, he's showing a little bit of leg, the tattoos out.
Same, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lizard's flying.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, that was the last one.
Oh, I should have put the cow pictures in there. I was like, I didn't take
Yeah,
any.
what is this?
I don't know.
Whoa, careful.
Where was? Oh, this is in Traverse City when we're riding Traverse.
Traverse
City.
City.
I always want to
Yeah.
say Traverse.
He keeps calling it Traverse City.
and me sick.
That's on purpose. That's what the locals call it. What else you got? Oh, this shows how, like... Why does it do that? Why does it do that? Oh, there's the
'cause
full
you
screen.
open the browser.
Yeah, just how dense it is in some of these parts.
Yeah, this I loved riding through this part though.
Yeah, Erin was like 5 feet in front of me, and
You
that section, and I like,
can't even see her.
yeah, you
Yeah.
couldn't see the person in front of you. It was so thick.
It was great though. I mean, it was.
I know that's like when Aim said like we're really selling it. The whole thing is like we really enjoyed it. Like it was really fun. Like it was wild. Like look at this. I mean, this is really cool. We just planned way too many miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the tall pines going through there.
They might want to, clip
Yeah, I
these.
could have edited that one there.
Yeah. How embarrassing. None of my pictures loaded because of
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Talk about poses.
Zoom in on that.
Wide
Just-
stance.
Oh.
Oh, look at the EF socks too. Looking good in pink.
Oh.
looking good.
Oh, Brad.
No upset stomach from too many cherries.
I don't know. Yeah. I think that's just my natural state.
Resting pouty face.
Um,
Oh, there's that overlook. That was pretty cool too.
That's a sassy pose.
Yeah, Why are you always
What's with your socks there?
My socks?
Brad's or mine?
Those
We're
are
both the
bears.
same.
They're bears for Sleeping Bear Dunes. Nobody fucking noticed.
I'm talking about one pulled up and
Oh
one.
man.
Oh, Brad.
Well, we're noticing now.
Those are goddamn bears.
I'm sure Lanky would notice. Lanky's a lot of sock content.
Yeah, he's thick on sock content. Which trail was the one that changes direction by year?
That was on the Vasa trails, but it was like the red line.
I
But
know.
what about
Vasa.
those mountain bike trails?
VASA.
The mountain bike trails right out of Traverse City after we did that big climb. Remember?
Those are the Vasa trails.
Oh, then what are the ones where we ran into that lady?
Big
That was
M.
Big M.
Oh, Big M.
I looked it up on Ride with GPS, the extent of those trails. Hey, Erin, could you put your password in?
Oh,
Do you have to look it up again?
Peter, we agree, but the one
Or you
we
can put
we
yours.
did go the wrong way on. We weren't
Do you know
worried about
yours?
it. But in Big M, we wanted to stay focused.
So
we were
I
worried
think-
about getting back into like. The one lady told us there's like 17 miles of single track, and we were like, "Yeah, we don't want to go that
Hold
way."
back.
I think Peter is talking because there were like where we were on the Vasa trails, there were a ton, but there was one section that was mountain bike specific that had a lot of switchbacks and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And going back, like Aaron's like, I would have rode wrong way down that trail. Like,
Yeah, for
no,
sure.
wait, no, we only saw 2 people out there, but it was like you don't know at the time. Like we're in a place that we've never been before, so.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Yeah.
Steve said the quick release
Cross
version
your
of the
fingers.
Paradise rack has its issues. Huh. Aaron's had no problem with hers.
I
and
saw
you run
him
one
post
too.
that. Yeah, I run one too. Yeah.
You ran one on trips and you didn't.
The only issues I've had with it is it seems to have lost some of its support, or I've never gone over the weight limits they have in place, but I still feel like it's lost some of its.
Oh, did you sync all of yours, or did you only sync them to Strava?
It may not. That one may not have synced.
I still should be able to find it though. How do I make that the thing I looked at?
That was a tough ride.
So we were up here. I want to see the Vasa trails. They're close to Traverse City. That's them here.
I
Huh?
want to see
Yeah.
where we saw the bear tracks.
Can I make this full screen without all the other junk around here? Yeah. So, for some Traverse Cities up here, we climbed up into the Vasa trails here, and you could see how extensive this network is. And yeah, so to ask us which ones were the ones that were one way, I looked up this earlier. So I think it was a lot of the stuff that gets really switchbacky in here, and that's why in the video we jumped out on the road to avoid a little bit of it after. But we were coming somewhere through this area.
Yeah, if you're from out of town, it's
I
kind
mean,
of.
this is an extensive. Yeah, look at that.
It's.
So when we had,
Yes, trail
route-
spaghetti is the best. Yeah.
Yeah, trail spaghetti. Yeah.
We were definitely looking at the map quite a bit through here.
Yeah, so when we had a route
Aaron
plan,
found a path though,
Yeah.
which was
I think basically what happened with what like we were doing was like it would have been like a little like a horseshoe, and like if we would have went the wrong way, we would have just been closing those two
a game
ends of a horseshoe.
horseshoes.
But instead, we kind of had a circle around one of these like, yeah, that look. I mean, look, and I think this is the reason we didn't keep going this way, because this didn't. This was on our. If we would have diverted, we would have had to go through all this crazy stuff, and that's why we were like, oh, Supply Road. Let's take that for a second to get back to the trail, you know.
Dollar Lake.
But then
Yeah.
these are all crossed with fire roads too, so there's connectors between what you're looking at here. So it's wild. Yeah. Yeah, Land's End, that's where we got on. So yeah, which one exactly? It was like we ended up going on something called like Fallen Timbers to avoid the one way. So maybe it's Fallen Timbers the one that changes seasonally, I think.
I
I
don't
think
know.
the
This
whole
is. I'm trying to find where. the
System?
map-
yeah.
You could take the whole thing, it's pointless.
That's where the bear tracks were. But like in the middle of nowhere.
Nothing.
Yeah, that was the route.
Look at the route. Oh, that was the route we had planned.
Yeah, so somewhere in here it becomes.
I think it's, yeah.
But
There's a trail called Adderall. I mean, that is the appeal for mountain biking, to mountain biking for me.
what's funny is that
That-
like
Hyper focus, flow state.
Andrew Smith said hit the like button, please. Did you do that big climb up into Acme to get to the Vasa?
That's exactly what.
It must be.
Yeah.
We just climbed from the Tart trails up through a residential neighborhood to get there. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
it doesn't actually look like we were fucking around
That's-
all that much, but
But we would have went like right across there.
And we were heading that way, which takes you not the direction.
So is that, zoom in on that green dash real quick. So that's what we were avoiding, and so Vasa single track. And instead we went all the way around that way to avoid it.
Yeah, we were just trying to respect the signs that were like, "Do not enter, do
Yeah.
not enter."
And then when we were
We
looking
did
at,
see a couple people come cooking through, so we did want to stay.
when
out
we
of
were
it.
standing there at the kind of like I said, the end of the horseshoe, someone literally came bombing out of there, and we moved out of the way, and you're like, oh, we're usually smarter than this, we don't stand in people's way. And it was like, that was kind of too, like, we really don't want to go down here
And
now.
they were also, those people also were like, "Shit, am I going the right way?"
Did we talk to that lady who was like, well, I think it goes this way, and it's like, well, that's not what our Wahoo says, like, and we're like, this is, and we did explain, like, this is a small part of our 5-day tour, we're just trying to get through here, but,
Yeah, definitely Squatchy. Yeah, I'm the local Squatch expert.
yeah, so, Peter, I'm guessing, like, what you're saying is what we did from what Erin was just showing, so maybe you could tell, because I don't know what Acme means.
Acme is up here. So we
Oh,
did
no,
go
so we did not go Acme,
Oh,
so you could see
yeah,
here.
never mind.
Because we came, gross, the climb starts what?
if you click on the climb, it might.
Oh, wait, we could actually do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mount Holiday is what the climb was to
Yeah.
that residential area.
People probably don't even consider that a climb. Yeah.
It's 1,000 feet.
Meh.
Yeah, Land's End is where we that's where we picked up the trails though. Well, and you start to sail down that downhill. In the video, I turned down the volume. You could hear Ben and now all of us go, Brad, Brad.
I was going grab, and I thought I was being funny, and but you guys were just concerned.
We were about to bomb down a hill after we were at the top.
My
going up.
Wahoo was telling me which way to go, but I was yelling grab. You didn't hear me?
How long did it take you to plan? I know it changed during the ride, but how much in advance did you plan it all out? Later than we usually do. We usually, because we know we were going to go like 4th of July time, we usually plan pretty early. So we planned a little bit late, but so like I said, we looked at the bikepacking.com route, and then I found a ride with GPS route. I sent it to you guys, and you guys spent, so I guess I don't know, how much did you guys spend tweaking?
Ben did the first pass. I don't know how much like the first pass of like splitting it up. And then
I think all together is probably 4 to 5 hours.
Erin's the planner, Ben's the route master general.
I'm the general idea guy. Then it goes to them.
But with this, it was different too, because we were worried about food and water, so we were trying to note like any possible stops.
yeah.
We were really trying to mark stuff on the map. We do that anyways, but when you do the gap in CNO or Ohio Deer, you're never 10 miles from civilization in some way. So then we're just trying to pick like the breweries and places that look interesting to us. Like you're saying, this is much more like, this is the one gas station on day one. We have to stop here.
Yeah.
We can't. If we miss this, we're
Bikepacking.com's route had noted some stuff like where you could filter water from a creek or like.
See,
where
now,
you
Steven, that's a callback.
or where there was like, where there were campgrounds. So we kind of used that as a basis to plan.
Yeah.
But then we pulled up the campgrounds, looked at the campground maps, decided the campsite we wanted. Sleeping Bear Dunes, like I said, we were too late. We had no choice. It was the last one left. So, yeah. It's hard to really say. I've thought about that because I've watched other people's videos on like how to plan a trip. And like, we do it so untraditionally and kind of pass it around and through emails and being like, look at these options, and kind of go back and forth, and we're all kind of looking at the maps that it's hard to say how much planning. I mean, we planned it to a T in a way.
Yeah. When
Some of us do planning that nobody else ever reads, bullets out all the stops and what mileage they're at, and then other people start doing that same thing.
a common phrase throughout this trip was like, "It was in the email."
It was in the because like
It was in the fucking email.
when we're doing all the planning and
Yeah, sorry,
Erin's
the
asking
fucking email.
when Erin's asking the questions in the email thread, I'm looking at everything, but then once it's all set, I don't like study it. Like it's
Yeah.
on my Wahoo, like I have a general idea, and that's why I would ask a question. I'd be like, "Is tonight the night we're going to that place?" And it's in the email. I'm like, "Yeah, I read that a month ago."
That'd probably be me or probably Tim or myself. Yeah.
The best fart.
Yeah.
I don't fart. It's always Brad. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and burping.
I jump on that grenade
Yeah.
for her. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little gassy on that round.
Well, here's the thing about the email, though, is that you asked me like I have memorized the email. I have written the frickin' email so that I don't have to remember those things because
No,
I can't.
You're selling yourself short. These guys are just good at planning. Because when we did the DC trip, it was a Monday. None of them were working. I was at work, and I was like, but I have a few minutes here. And they had the whole trip planned out, the 40 minutes, and I like would chime in like for 2 sentences here and there, and I was like, what the fuck? They were just going so fast, and I was like, oh my God.
So, Peter, I have all the routes we actually rode on my Strava, and the video I posted today has the first one, so if you click on that, you could find them. I don't think our planned routes are public, right?
My ride with GPS is public.
So, Erin, if you, I guess, search Erin Molnar, like her ride with GPS would have the routes that we had planned.
Molnar.
And
I may have screwed them up when we were.
I believe it's Molnar.
But then we
That's
changed them to what
not
we actually wanted to ride.
I deleted all mine already.
Yeah. And then also look up the bikepacking.com article because that's the suggested end-to-end route. So that's the thing you should look at, not what we did, because we were trying to make a loop from Traverse City. But if you do go into Ride with GPS and search the bikepacking.com, what is it again? The North Country, Michigan's North Country Traverse.
Mhm.
Look that up. Other people have made variations of it, and that's how we got our start.
There are a
So,
lot of comments too. So,
Yeah,
and
a lot
it's
of comments, a
worth
lot of
going
links.
through them all.
Yeah, links to like other routes people have made. So
The best tire recommendations are in the comments section, I think,
Yeah.
too.
any problem with insects?
Yeah.
Well, we said every one of us found a tick on us and flicked it off, but I didn't get bit by a mosquito on the trip.
That's
like,
true.
When I was setting up
Mosquitoes
tent,
weren't-
like gnats were driving me crazy. But Ben put out that thing that you guys had recommended. Yeah, Erin bought her.
By you guys, we mean you guys.
The chat. Yeah. What well, I can't remember what it's called.
Thermocell.
Thermocell. So when we get to camp, I think we only did it on the nights that we didn't have the fire going early. Ben set it out, and once it got going, like around the camp, the table, like
Once
on
he
the
turned
picnic
it
table.
on, yeah.
Is that a different?
The first night.
The first night. And I was like, Ben, I think this thing is really working. And he was like,
Yeah, both of you guys
it
are
wasn't on
like-
before.
Because when I was setting up the tent, it was all gnats around me, but I wasn't getting bit.
Yeah, a lot of when we're.
But we also get a fire going every night, which
Yeah.
is very good at mitigating bugs. And then tents, you just never leave them open. You're only unzipping them and zipping them up.
Oh,
Pudgy's one.
getting over trees was a constant issue too. A lot of down trees.
Not
I
as
think
many as I was worried about after the storm.
Every
that I saw.
video that I posted on Instagram, we were stopping to go over a tree, and I was like, oh. But again, day 2, that slow section, we were all hiking up. That's when I think the flies were at their worst, because there's no breeze, there's nothing. But I've always heard that
Yeah, fires help. Oh, Peter asked too about the NCT section by Messick. We hit it to Messick, but that's when we broke off to go to our second night campsite and rode mostly gravel roads to get there. So we saw north of Messick, but not south of Messick
Yeah.
on the NCT. So,
damn, so we missed the rat part.
I don't know. He didn't say whether it was,
He said it was rad. Oh.
but we don't know
Yeah, we don't know which part was rad.
because
Now
it
we
was
gotta
rad
go back.
before we got off because we were
Yeah.
up
It was
above
a-
the river and it was
Well, it was
really
probably
cool.
rad before we got there. Yeah.
Why do you? Are there any more of these?
Why are you friendly with me? Maybe
Did you only bring one beer?
it's a work.
It's a long drink.
It didn't last.
No, I don't think we made it that far.
Oh,
There's
to the-
also a drive-through across the street.
that's where those came from.
Oh boy.
All right. It's time for Erin to go home, go to bed.
You say Ernie?
No, I said it's time for Erin to go home and go to bed.
I was surprised by how much I felt like bugs would be an issue, how much they weren't.
Hmm.
Because we did stop and chat a couple times, like even like in the woods, and I thought it was going to be a problem.
Just
but,
one.
all right,
For the table.
for the
For
trip.
the tape. There's one. I've always heard that in a breeze like 6 or 7 miles an hour,
Bugs.
that really cuts down on the insects. But there was one section we were going through where the horseflies were getting bonkers, and Ben and I were going like 12 or 13, and they were still keeping up with us. And I was watching them swarm
Really?
around him.
There's a
Was
section.
I
Of,
that far behind you that I didn't
there's a section
experience
of
this?
Right
video.
after
I
the
don't
whole
know if
growth.
it.
And I was like,
Huh.
good grief.
There's a clip where
Once we got up to 15, they were gone. But
there's a clip where I turned the camera on myself, and you could see horseflies rotating me. But in the moment, I don't remember them bothering me. Probably because we were moving and they weren't landing on me.
Yeah.
As long as they're not.
I was sweaty enough that it created a barrier.
They could
They were
slip
like,
right off.
"Ah!" Immediately would drown. Too much salt, too much salt. I went through all the electrolytes that I had for the trip by day 2. Are you
Well,
leaving?
I am. It's bedtime. I mean, it was bedtime hours ago for me.
Oh shit, it's 10.
Yeah.
You did good. You did good.
Thanks. I did take a nap from 6 to 7.
I
so.
took one.
Just in case.
Don't freak
See ya,
out.
bud.
That was the most awkward.
Have you ever seen a hug with Ben that's not awkward?
That's a good point. He's
And
working
it's
on
my
it.
toe.
Oh, sorry, bud. Do you want to see my toe?
I saw the picture.
Pudgy
That's good
Feather
enough.
pushes
It's
super
worse
shattered
now.
$1.99. Rad avoid the question about riding pump tracks. Fire extinguisher.
Ladder, fire
Pudgy, I
extinguisher.
keep trying to get to it. Pudgy's asked us when we're going to come down that way, and
When am I
ride the pump
gonna
track.
ride on a pump track? Which one of my bikes am I gonna use on a pump track?
you can ride any bike on a pump track.
That's true.
Man.
It's a serious question. Which bike should I bring?
I actually here. I'll move up here.
I didn't mention that the Bridge Club was an entirely new bike for me that I bought 2 weeks before this trip.
Yeah.
Now
And-
it's not mentioned.
Yeah.
And Pudgy, I'm not avoiding your question. I'm just not sure when because I would like to get down that way, and I'm just not sure when it's going to happen. Because we've been talking. It's one of those summer things too, where I start looking at the weekends and I see what I have, and I'm like, man,
Ordering something?
they go so fast. There's not. I'm like,
Well,
we
they
need to
don't
do
have
another
the
camp
ones
trip,
they
and I'm
want,
like,
so it might just be a race.
there's just not that many weekends in the summer, and if I have a gig on one of them, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to get down that way in general.
You need to rake it instantly.
Pudgy
Thanks,
said he's got
Pete.
like 5 bikes.
Well,
Oh,
you
see you
wanna
later,
wait
Pete.
for a sale?
The inch checks got drunk on my sweat and fell off.
You get one
I wasn't
thing.
drinking that much.
You weren't drinking. Like the first night I said we can drink anything.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's-
Use pedal brake.
You get- that's-
Ah.
we can
Do you want to
just-
run across the street?
You can buy whatever you want.
I'm not too far
As long
behind
as I
that.
don't have to make a decision or ask a condescending man to cut wood for me.
That's a
Ben.
lot of pressure. I get
A condescending man to cut wood.
Yeah, where does this go?
Yeah, that's,
just film me
they
in.
can't hear this conversation, but
Okay.
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah, we can. Well, that's too, Pudgy. You were asking about like I need to message you back about the video idea. It's like it's not about like. It's like I would love to do that. I just got to get down there. But anyways,
Look how sweaty this chair is.
yeah. Anyways,
Pudgy, we just got back from vacation. Give me a break.
yeah. Well, we will
Wait,
see.
that was my break. Shit. I am out of PTO.
Tony said, "Well, we can hear it." But we will actually be seeing Pudgy in. It's not till the fall, but he signed up for Higher Ground also.
Oh, fuck. Right. That oh fuck was not because I was going to see Pudgy. It's because of Higher Ground.
Higher Ground, yeah, the toughest non-loaded ride I've ever done.
You're trying to say you weren't loaded at some point?
That's what I do. That is funny because the first night of the trip was one of those things where it was like, I remember we stopped at that gas station. I'm like, oh, should I grab a beer? And I was like, no. I grabbed a Pepsi.
Are you talking about our trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grabbed like a Pepsi and 2 waters.
Yeah, who grabs a Pepsi?
Well, I like Pepsi, but
I know, but
they didn't have Dr. Pepper. They were
Dr.
sold out.
Pepper.
I'm like, I'm gonna have like one of the 3 pops I drink a year, and they're out of my favorite pop.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Hey, it's Rusty
Hey!
from Germany.
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah, so like I'm like sugar, caffeine. Like I normally don't drink that stuff, and I'm like, this is the
That's
time
true,
where
yeah.
this is like the.
Yeah, I've never seen you buy soda before, and then you walked out with a Pepsi, and Erin and I were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't like the way Coke coats your teeth.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part. I don't like the way they destroyed unions in South America, but
Oh yeah, Coke's a really honorable corporation.
right. But like Pepsi's great too. I'm just talking smack now that Rusty's here. I gotta impress him.
Oh, Yonda's here.
Oh hey bud, are you out of your shower now?
Why is he on a different account now? What's that photo?
I don't know. he missed the contest before because he was in the shower.
Ah. Yeah, you could curse after 4 a.m. Or is that too early? Is it now? It's now morning again at 4 a.m.
Oh wait, yeah. It's after 10. We're
Yeah.
good.
It's only Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, that's the one true time for us. What? It's not like we're going by Greenwich time
No,
here.
we're not. GMT. Oh, this was the last we stayed at a cottage. Like after the trip.
The director's cabin.
Yeah, the director's cabin it was called. But we got back to.
Yeah, we were there.
Yep.
I'm not talking to you guys.
What do you got first?
Even though that's. Anyways. Yeah, we
Oh, Rusty. The
Yeah.
chat just caught up with our conversation.
yeah, we got back to Traverse City in the Cherry on July 4th, and it was a zoo.
Oof.
Like an absolute.
That really took it out of me coming through there.
Play that last video.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, is there sound? Look at that. Just a fella having fun in the water.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The Shimano Yanda. Shimano Yanda. False Shimano. Oh, your Asperger's, buddy, is showing. False. Bears beat Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got back to we went to that cabin. The water was awesome. We swam in the morning. Yeah, we got out of Traverse City because it was such a.
Oh, and then we went
Zoo.
to Talk in Ann
Yeah, then
Arbor.
we had lunch in Ann Arbor. Yeah. On our way home. TAQ?
Yeah.
The name needs something to be desired, but
Yeah.
Talk.
the food and cocktails were good.
The cocktails were good.
Short for taco.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I just hate the forced modern, like.
Can, we're gonna share that,
Oh
bud?
yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot.
for the tape.
On the table.
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
My Aperol Spritz.
Hey, you drank a lot of very summery drinks on this.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm on a. Yeah, it's a spritz kind of summer.
What,
Look
yeah,
how I'm
what,
spritzing.
what was the drink you were drinking in that town that the 4th of July parade was going on?
Aperol Spritz.
Oh, same thing. Just a different place. They're just a very spritz.
Like I said, yeah. And then when I came home, I was like, you know what? I kind of want an Aperol Spritz.
I had a. Oh yeah, it was a margarita. A house margarita, I think.
How pedestrian.
It was a taco place.
Yeah.
I didn't need to order the most feminine thing on the menu.
Woo! You say it like it's a bad thing.
It's not.
You trying to get canceled?
No.
Yes, but you're getting
I'm saying,
close.
I'm just saying I didn't. Oh, this is that last place, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the water's good when you walk right in at like 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Ben even went under.
Full submerge.
Full submerged.
Like a true man.
Oh, that's your
Really
sunburn
regret
on
it. Oh, yeah, your fish-shaped sunburn.
But the first day of the tour, Ben wears a shirt that has
No,
a
it's like-
second
Yeah.
giant hole in the back of it. And then his back just
It looked
fries.
really fashionable, though.
Yeah. Until he's blistered and covered. Are you better now?
Yeah.
Oh, the skin's all peeled off?
Yeah, sure, Rusty. He's not wrong. I'm disappointed that no one had the ability. Oh, God.
That would have been a good contest just to pull that up and be like,
That guy's face. The guy that was waiting on us. I like that picture. Can you send that to me?
yeah. You've asked for a lot of pictures of Ben tonight. It's getting a little weird.
You can just download them off this website.
Flickr? It still exists, huh?
I made a post on YouTube and I like linked these. I'm like, if you want to see more
Yeah.
trip photos, they're on Flickr. Then I parentheses.
You talked me back into Flickr, yeah. I appreciate it.
Chapman Cycles is on here.
Oh.
Tommy Cycles is on here. JP Weigel uses Flickr. That's all.
Yeah, these are all old dudes.
Chapman's not that old, is he?
Yeah, I know.
I don't know
Neither
how
is
old the guy
Tommy,
does
so-
now. I don't know how old that guy is.
I think our age.
Don't put me in the same boat as you.
We are in the same boat. We would have been in high school together.
By what metric?
Senior freshman. I would have beat you up in high school. And you would have deserved it.
Oh man,
That pickle pizza.
that fucked.
That was one of the better ones, for sure. It definitely fornicated.
That was the brewery on the last day on the bike trail.
You guys let me walk around like that?
Tried not to. I was back in Traverse.
That's good.
What is this? What is this sweatshirt, by the way?
Mushrooms.
I know it's mushrooms.
Saw it on the internet.
Go
Looked
on.
Cool. And I like the color.
Oh, we were walking down this dock, remember? And that kid walks up and he's like, they're standing
Do
there.
wheelie.
Do a wheelie. And I did like the best wheelie of my life, which was like,
He was also on one of those PK Ripper, like the bikes that kids just do wheelies on.
yeah, but I didn't notice that at the time. And he's standing there and I like popped the front wheel off the ground and it was nothing.
The best wheelie of your life.
Yeah, but that was 4 pedal strokes. And then,
It's still like, what, 8 feet?
and then the kid was like, hey, watch this, and like wheelied all the way down the entire length of that.
He's like, you fucking ready for this?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah! And then he was like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, we've looked at all these.
Yeah.
Why are we still on here?
Flickr? Is it a port?
Rick said old dudes suck. Oh, Bob Darrow's here.
Where? Robert. Watch
Watch
it.
with all the old dude stuff.
Old dudes suck, and that's it.
I missed Rick's comment. Ansel Adams uses Flickr.
Burn!
I thought he used the zone system. Drink water said wheelies sharks. Jacob, what's up, dude?
Yeah,
Jacob said,
we did.
sounds like you know whose neighborhood it was for sure. Like, I thought that kid was just like doing like one of those, like when you're on a skateboard, do an alley, show
No,
me an
on
alley.
DP, he wanted to see a real fucking. Yeah, but he
didn't
wanted
wanna-
to show us his.
No, he didn't
wheel.
want to see anything. There was a setup so he could do an
Yeah,
awesome
yeah,
wheelie.
yeah.
He looked at us old guys and he knew we couldn't, and I couldn't. I mean, I
Yeah.
did it. The best wheelie of my life is a very unimpressive wheelie.
I should have just got off my bike and slapped him.
You should have taken his bike and just thrown it in the way.
Now what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we kept all our fingers. We didn't light any fireworks.
Yeah, no one got COVID this time.
Yeah. Yet.
Yeah. I did ride bikes with Yonda on Sunday, and I got poison ivy on my toesies.
Where were you riding with Yonda on Sunday?
I took him to the murder hut.
The murder hut?
That's what we call it. The one thing that with the shooting range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And because when we first found it, it was filled with all the targets and all the brass, and
That's why we call it the shooting range.
yeah. Murder Hut is so much more flavor. Shooting range. Ugh.
Did you see Otis and Kenny did a hundo on? And Bob did a hundo on Monday?
What? No, I didn't see that. I love yelling do a kickflip to guys on bikes. No, I didn't see that. Where'd they go? Can you pull that up? Can we talk about that?
Went south on the towpath.
Oh, so it's just now I'm back.
Don't belittle other people.
No, that's for Bob because he also likes making circle on Strava. Styx was at Summerfest. Wait, what's Summerfest? We went to a different Summerfest.
Yender's in Pittsburgh.
Milwaukee.
Racers in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Dimitri?
Do a crank flip.
Where were we? We were riding the one time. I think it was Ohio to Erie, and those people yelled at us. They're like, do a wheelie, but they were playing basketball, and I yelled, do a slam dunk. And they couldn't. And I was like,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Do a crank flip.
Well, should we wind this up?
Yeah, I just finished this. So, I'm gonna get boring in like 20 minutes.
I'm trying to wind it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were so animated.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this super exciting live stream.
Do a shitty
Rick comes in swinging at the end, just about to.
Yeah, now he's just getting fired up.
Do a bang.
Rusty did ask a question earlier.
Oh, what did Rusty ask?
Desolation podcast. Did you guys talk about
No, I don't know. Do you know the Desolation podcast?
it? Says thinks she's from Wisconsin, but talks about bikepacking the Great Lakes area.
Oh shit. Okay.
Desolation podcast.
Thanks,
Bikepacking the
Bob.
Great Lakes area. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Bob. Yeah. Thanks, Dimitri.
Foghat was at the mall.
I saw Blue Oyster Cult play at this hookah fest at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was like, "Oh, come on, guys, just give it up." And it was actually the only band that I could enjoy at all there, but the 1 o'clock time slot,
I saw Weird Al at the Cleveland Rib Burn Off, and people thought he was washed up, and I was like, "Are you insane?"
Yeah, but his career arced back up.
Yeah.
You're
I
talking
saw
about
Gallagher at the Kent stage.
It's Gallagher's. Was it Black Gallagher?
Oh, Gallagher.
Was it Gallagher too?
Gallagher.
Yeah,
or
the
his
one
brother Gallagher.
Yeah.
The one that had to pre-crack all the watermelons because he was so old.
Wow.
couldn't get through 'em.
Pre-cracking watermelons.
See, Eric
What a
told me he saw
shame.
Gallagher and he opened up with all this right-wing conservative stuff and everyone booed him, and then by the time he smashed the fruit, it was empty in there.
Ooh, now that's a... Not just a conservative making a bunch of jokes and then smashing fruit.
Yep, canceled.
He should be. I'm just pointing it out. Well, Rusty's canceled. Korn and Marilyn Manson for Danzig in South Dakota. That's a rough time.
Yeah, how did you make it till Danzig?
That would have to be in the 90s, right?
Dramatic pause. Yeah, you were back in your 40s.
Gallagher wouldn't even stoop to that joke. I wish they had the shepherd's hook right now.
Oh, Dave Attell. Yeah, he was the original Anthony Bourdain.
How old's that guy? Those
You kinda
tacos,
look like
not
Dave Attell.
Oh, mother! You think everybody that's bald with a mustache thinks? Go, pull up the picture that you thought was me. I know it's around here somewhere.
It is. One of my last few. It looks exactly like you. Chrissy commented on it.
See, 95. Skip school that day. I knew it.
I stealth held up my phone because I thought this was. At first, I got a glance. I'm like, Brad's walking up here. Then I'm like, oh, I thought this guy looked like Brad. And so I stealth held up my phone. Like, you can't zoom in on Strava.
It wouldn't be that weird for me to show up in Missing Falls
Yeah.
in a tuxedo.
Oh, up in the corner.
It's a little on brand. Listen, Balancing,
And then I'm like-
those are
And I'm like, this
fatheads.
isn't even. Then I was like, this isn't even a white guy. I'm holding my
Yeah.
phone like I'm texting, waiting till this guy walks.
He's got eyes like a photographer.
Who said that?
I just said it about you.
Anyways, David, do you remember David Tell's
Yeah,
show?
I remember. Yeah,
It was like a 24-hour thing in the town.
he would. Yeah, what was the name of that show?
Insomniac.
Yeah. That show was great.
That was great. That's what I say.
David Tell's good.
He was the original Anthony Bourdain. He was doing an episode in Canada once, and someone said, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "America." Then he paused, and he's like, "You heard of it?" That's one of my, I think, one of the best lines ever. Anyways,
Rick only drinks Swedish beer now.
oh, we have to discuss 3x. We're not getting to 3x tonight.
I'm trying to cut back on sugar, Rick.
No, we're not drinking Bud Lights. These are fatheads. Dave, you ready with the focus? Ohio beer. Wow, you nailed it.
Bam. It's like he's a professional or something.
Yeah. He does get paid to do his job. Isn't that the definition of a professional?
Yeah, you don't have to be so crass about it.
God, Dos Taco says Rick Steve is the original Bourdain.
Yeah, we do love Rick Steves.
I love Rick Steves, but there's definitely a very different.
A different vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little lacking on the food side.
Matt's too good. Now we're canceled on the other side.
That's technically correct.
Yeah. Oh, I love a gay beer, just not.
Yeah.
It's not a gross one.
Yeah, good ones. Just the good ones. But I do believe some of the things he does. Yeah, there's some truth in there. There's always, that's his whole shtick.
Most Americans drink Bud Light. They did.
Until about a month ago.
Until about a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the most consumed beer in America?
Bud Light.
Is it?
Yeah. Bud Light got passed though after they did the Pride thing.
By who?
I can't remember. Yeah, I think I think there was a paywall in the article I was reading.
Budweiser.
Hey, go, yeah. I was switching to Bud.
Yeah.
I
think
love
it's so
that
funny.
all the
Like, Bud,
people.
like 4th of July goes to these American cans. It's not even owned by an American company. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even an American. Like, it's like the worst corporation in the world. Like,
InBev.
yeah.
Modelo now. No way.
No, there's no way Modelo passed Bud Light.
There's no
Not
way.
a chance in
Yeah.
hell.
Too Mexican.
Yeah. I mean, it sells a lot at Mexican restaurants, but there's no way it passed Bud Light.
I do like the.
Tony said too. Modelo took the top spot from Bud Light. 2 people have said it.
3.
Oh, we got a hat trick.
One of them has
love a good
tacos in
callback.
the name.
Yeah.
So Modelo beat out Corona.
Ah, yeah. Well,
Since
how could
Tony
Corona-
said it, though,
there's
I-
no way I see. There's
Yeah.
no way. I need to.
Since Tony said it, I don't believe it.
Everyone's saying it, and I just don't believe it.
Like, yeah, now he's doubling down on this. I don't believe it.
It would be.
I don't know. He warned us about the sand. You guys just made fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I say on this trip? I was like, what? I was
And see, like
oh, I was
Molson,
like-
if it's gonna be a Canadian beer, it'd be Labatt Blue.
I said it so because Erin said something about Tony's curse. Tony cursed us, and I was like, Italian curses are especially potent.
Oh, is that what Scripity is? Italian? It's not Dutch.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Yeah.
No.
Now that I think about it, Scarpitti. Yeah, I can't. Probably Finnish. Finnish?
Speaking of Finnish.
Are we just gonna do Dave Attell quotes? Because we're definitely done then.
Actually, this is the part I'm enjoying.
Yeah, of course it is.
Corona is
Because
made
you're a
by
history
Modelo.
buff.
Corona is made by Modelo. Like, that doesn't change it being like Corona's still more popular. There's no way they're selling more case of Modelo than Corona.
Since June 14th officially.
Tell him about
Modelo.
Yeah, Modeo. That's how fancy he is now.
That's how.
I'm Modelo.
Later. Tacos.
Would you look at the time? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Ames, you're just guessing now. Michelob. That's actually a pretty good guess, though. No, it's not. Do they even still make Michelob?
Michelob Ultra is like extremely popular.
Ultra. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't believe it's Modelo. I don't care what you guys say. Like, I don't care. Corona, I see Corona 1,000 times more than I see Modelo. And that's how it is pronounced, because an E is pronounced as an A in Spanish.
Why are you getting mad about it?
Where's that at the chat?
Ooh, drink water. Bike culture, please keep volume on portable speakers to minimum or don't use it at all. Thanks. I actually stopped carrying a portable speaker. For
It
that
depends on what
reason.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Bikes move so fast. I get like the whole thing about not having Bluetooth speakers when you're hiking.
I mean, how many
Through
times have
hiking.
we said to each other, hell is other people's music?
Yeah. But when you're riding, you listen to it for 2 seconds.
Right, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe 15, depending on how loud it is and how fast you're
Tim is so mad, bro, about this.
going. Big mad.
I really don't buy it. I don't buy that Modelo is the #1 selling beer in the U.S. I don't believe it.
It's due to the
Kyle
rise,
Plessy subscribed to the channel.
rise in drink.
Sorry, Kyle.
Hispanics.
I mean, great job.
Railroad Tube subscribed to the channel.
Nice.
Did you see? When you buy a hat like that, you should get a bowl of soup.
Looks
good on
I
you.
can hear it in his voice.
Looks good
dude.
on you, though. He does the whole, like, looks
Yeah.
good on you, though.
Now I gotta watch Caddyshack.
What's up, Eric? There's no way. I don't believe it. Don't believe it.
Which part?
The Modelo.
You know,
See you, man.
you're just a couple keystrokes away from the World Wide Web.
Yeah. They're all looking it up, and I still don't believe it.
Yeah, it's more fun this way.
Yeah. Do it.
Prove it.
What was that service that we used to text questions to before? Do you remember that?
Cha-cha?
Cha-cha.
This is the third time this month I've talked about Cha-cha.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was talking about it with Chrissy Moscow, and she's
Tony's
like,
texted me
she
this.
remembered it, but she never used it. And I forget who else I was talking about. Yeah, Cha-cha. I used Cha-cha quite a bit, so I didn't have to Google it myself.
Tony was texting me the articles.
Oh, of course. He probably did text me too. Oh, my phone's telling me it's time for
They're
bed.
saying Latin-centric drinking. So again, I
Oh
guess
my
that's
God, yeah. Look at all this. He's just.
a demographic that I'm not.
God,
Yeah. Wow.
it's like being on Reddit in real life. Thanks, Tony.
I'll do my own research. Thank you very much.
Ames is saying Michelob. So.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, and I'm Googling and it's saying Black Label.
Holy shit. Racist.
Oh my god.
Modelo's cost $5 now?
A 6-pack of Modelo.
Oh, okay. I do like, what's the dark ones?
Modelo Dark.
Yeah, how do you say that?
Special. What would you say?
I just wanted you to say it. Cha Cha Moldoni.
Racer X841071 super chatted $5 for your next Modelo.
Yeah,
The
they're good.
next one though is
Matt, yeah.
$2 for your next Bud Light. We did get Bud Lights though that one time, remember? And we were talking about like the sweetness and the wheat taste.
Where were we?
Was that Hodges? That burger
Oh.
place? Some hole in the wall. Yeah, thank you, Racer. I wanted Tim to say it though.
Super chatted $2 for your next Bud Light.
Such a
Do you know the Mexican beer I drink when I go to I drink Pacifico.
Oh, I kind of like a Pacific.
They're independent. They're a giant company, but they're not owned by InBev or anyone else.
John Frey subscribed to the channel.
I'm trying to think of. Oh no, that's an
Only
Italian beer.
American beer and people go
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, I drink craft beer. That costs me
Peroni,
$12.
but that's Yeah.
Veteran, Dave. Veterans bring donuts. That still pops in my head whenever I think of someone being cheap. I'm like, veterans bring donuts.
Dos Tacos was potentially charged $31.50 for an 18-pack. 18. Pacifico is good. Wow. $31.50.
Ah, Tecate. Yeah, I always like the cans of
Ooh, I'm
Tecate.
not- yeah.
They all taste the same.
I put Tecate in the same maybe it's not as bad. People like
Wait,
Red
isn't-
Stripe a lot.
It's Negro Modelo. It's not Modelo Negro.
Correct.
Yeah.
For the Latin pronunciation.
I mean, just for the order of the word.
Especial isn't that the lighter one?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm a Pacifico guy.
Right. Good out though. No, I want him to say this. Yeah, Tecate. I never.
It was. I mean, it wasn't. I don't mean independent. It was. Peroni is Italian, and it's owned by InBev as well now.
Yeah, I know Peroni. Yeah.
Sapporo is now America's second best. That's
I believe that one though.
that's made by the Japs.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Japs, and I was like thought better of it, and then you immediately said it.
I was thinking of the horrible Bugs Bunny cartoon, and I was gonna go that route, but then I'm like, I better not. Yeah.
That explains a lot though about your.
My
Yeah, all of your references are Bugs Bunny.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, InBev owns everybody now.
Pacifico for a long time was actually a Mexican beer, where Corona hasn't been forever. It could have changed.
Argentina lager.
What were we drinking in Puerto Rico? It was a different. Stella is the brand that InBev is. They're the ones who bought everybody. Started with Stella, and Heineken bought Stella, and then they're the ones who built the huge corporation that InBev became. Yeah. Name's canceled. It was Bugs Bunny Nips the Nips.
Woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
Have you ever seen it? It's all
Yes,
like
yeah,
I mean,
I
like
know, I
Bugs Bunny
remember,
pulling
yeah.
eyes back, like dropping
yeah,
bombs
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I mean, it's World War II propaganda, but
Yeah, let's get into a topic about World War II.
as I've been saying for 20 minutes, we should definitely end this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Stella's
Right,
and
yeah.
Heineken
that's like,
too. Like they use Heineken as an example of like that skunky flavor. What for homebrewers, what not to do.
What not to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, saying Stella is from Belgium is saying like Australians drink Fosters.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a fact. Australian for
It's
beer.
Australian for beer.
Erin's been to Australia, and she loves when I do my Australian
Australian.
accent.
That
Australian.
you-
She's like, you sound like you have Down syndrome. But
That's just a speech impediment. It's not necessarily down. Oh my God, you guys are. Gonna get
that's her.
canceled.
I didn't say it. I'm quoting someone. We can't get canceled for that.
All right, it's.
Yeah, we
we're
need to go
done.
get some beer somewhere, huh?
Yeah.
Tony sent me a link from Fox Business, and I'm supposed to believe
Nah,
that?
I wouldn't even open it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even open it.
Yeah.
That's- yeah.
Yeah. They'll change my voter registration if I do.
Right. Yeah.
That's how that works.
That's a trap.
That's how it works.
I know.
They
I'm
call
in
it-
IT.
They call it fishing with a PH. All right, you guys are awesome.
Are you
was it-
quoting my mom?
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time I'm just kidding.
Fitzwater photo.